State University in Pocatello. Inside the broadcast booth, Brandon Bainey with Scott Burton. The Dietrich Blue Devils, the Kendrick Tigers. Dietrich will be kicking off to start tonight's contest. A squib kick bobbled and ultimately recovered at the 35-yard line by Kendrick. What a way to start the affair tonight, though, as Kendrick just falls back on top of that squib kick from Dietrich.
Yeah, that could have been disaster right away for Kendrick, as Dietrich's just, obviously not trying to allow the big return, because the over-under in this game is about 100 points. If you talk about both of these teams coming in, and we'll get to them, but this is a game that's going to be, on paper, very high scoring, and Kendrick will have their first shot on offense.
Scoreboard operator's going to need a Red Bull tonight, no doubt about it. Kendrick will start out of a shotgun formation. Ty Kep, the all-state quarterback his first 2 years as a starting QB. Deep ball home run on first down, right side incomplete. Going for Jagger Hewitt, the senior tight end, threw it too high, incomplete.
Great coverage by Dietrich on that one play, but I tell you what, the arm strength, that sailed 50 yards in the air effortlessly. That kid's got a gun.
Kep has been so good, freshman starter at QB for Kendrick now in his junior season. This is an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of the 2022 Idaho High School 1A-D2 Football Championship, presented by Project Filter, Your Health Idaho, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, the Idaho Transportation Department, Valleywide Cooperative, and your local Toyota dealers. They'll hand off out of the gun here, right side, right back to the line of scrimmage. And did they ever rule the play dead? They didn't. He's going to continue to run. The 20, the 10, the 5, into the end zone for the touchdown. Sawyer Hewitt. Dietrich thought they had him dead to rights, right back at the line of scrimmage at the 35. Sawyer Hewitt never gave up on the play and ends up taking it all the way into the end zone for a 65-yard touchdown.
That was one of those bizarre plays that he was wrapped up and spun to the ground, but never made it to the ground. And in the spin, he put his hand down, kept himself alive, and took off while everybody else was standing there thinking that he was down. But by the time everybody realized it, he was 15 yards ahead of everybody.
Sign of a well-coached team there. Kendrick will line up and go for two. 11:35 to play, opening quarter. Ty Kep up the middle. Two-point conversion run is in, and so 11:35 to play. Here in the opening quarter of action, that didn't take long. 8-0 Kendrick.
Well, we said that this was going to be a high-scoring game. 25 seconds in, it's already 8-0 on a big play, 65-yard run, and Kendrick strikes first.
Well, if you're an Idaho homeowner and have fallen behind on your mortgage because of the COVID-19 pandemic, help is available. The Idaho Homeowner Assistance Fund can help you get back on track. Check your eligibility and apply today at idahohousing.com/HAF or call 888-991-2166. Tonight's game is also brought to you in part by George F. Brocky & Sons. They're a fourth-generation family business that has been pricing quality peas, lentils, garbanzo beans, Austrian winter peas, and rapeseed for over 65 years to north-central Idaho and southeastern Washington. These products are cleaned and then shipped under the top-notch and sun-dried brands to nearly every continent on Earth. Their worldwide customers have come to expect quality products in every shipment. At George F. Brocky & Sons, they build relationships with their loyal customers to help maximize yields and ensure quality. Stop by their facility in Kendrick and say hello, and as always, go Tigers.
We've got two games here tonight. This one kicking off right around 6 o'clock. The next game's supposed to be at 8:30. That ain't going to happen.
That's definitely not happening tonight. With the way these two teams can go up and down the field, we expected a shootout. Kendrick held up their end of the bargain. We'll see what Dietrich can do on their first drive of the night. Dietrich in the home black jerseys with black pants, the sky blue letters and numbers, white trim around them. They bobble the squib kick. It is taken to the 30-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich.
Yeah, I see a theme developing. That was Connor Perkins that fell on it, but neither team is going to allow a return tonight on the kickoff. And we're going to see a lot of kickoffs. Don't get me wrong. So we're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff all night.
That Dietrich scoring drive, Scott, took 3 plays. They've done that 5 times this year where they've scored in 3 plays or less. Pretty impressive home run ability from the Tigers.
Well, now let's see what this Dietrich offense can do against this stout Kendrick defense. We'll talk more about the defense of Kendrick in a moment.
Cody Power out of the shotgun, 1st and 10, feeling the heat, will try and take off and run, and will pick up 2 yards as immediately, as soon as he took the snap, the white jerseyed, orange panted Kendrick Tigers were in the backfield.
Yeah, that was Wyatt Fitzmaurice, the 5'9 junior that just got in untouched and blew up the play right away. And then he got some help from his teammates. Tweed arrived and a couple of others, and it's second down. But 2-yard gain on first down for Dietrich. 11 minutes to go here in the opening quarter.
2nd and 8 now for the Blue Devils, and again, a 4 wide, 2 to either side, and Cody Power alone in the shotgun. Kendrick's got 4 guys right near the line of scrimmage. They'll rush for. Screen pass, right side, caught, maneuvering to the 35, the 40, broke a tackle, the 45, cuts back in, and they'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. That looked like Peyton Snedden on the reception for the first down.
And Dietrich moves the sticks, and we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of their athletes out in space with short passes, a little bit of a screen game, because Dietrich has some weapons of their own.
Starting offense for Dietrich tonight up front on the offensive line. The guards are senior Dason Pisano and sophomore Brody Torgerson. It's Emmett Zimmers, the junior, at center. The wide receivers are senior Case Robertson and sophomore Connor Perkins. The fullback is senior Hayden Estelle. The running back, senior Peyton Snedden. And it's Cody Power, the trigger man at quarterback. Over 1,000 yards passing and rushing this year for Cody Power. 2 receivers right side, man in motion. Penalty flag comes out. This will be against Dietrich. Back it up 5 yards. The Kendrick defense tonight, Scott, they'll start this way. The defensive ends are senior Tommy Stamper and sophomore Brock Boyer. The nose tackle is senior Tristan Jones. 2 linebackers, pair of juniors, Wyatt Fitzmaurice and Mason Kimberling. They call him Moose. The corners are senior Jagger Hewitt and junior Hunter Taylor, and it's junior Lane Clemenhagen playing as the safety. They actually called that on Kendrick. Encroachment against the Tigers to move it up 5 yards. 1st and 5 for the Blue Devils from the 49 of Kendrick. Sweep play, left side, gets the edge. The 40, the 35, Snedden, again a big run. Knocked out of bounds just shy of the 30 for a Dietrich first down.
Yeah, and that was a great job by the Dietrich quarterback, Connor Perkins, because that snap was a little bit high, and that was a timing play as it was Snedden coming in motion from the right side and timing that perfectly, but a high snap forced Connor Perkins to really bring that down and get it into the breadbasket, and positive yardage for Dietrich, but a great play by the quarterback.
And this is a Kendrick defense that has been stout all year long. They gave up 6 points in September to Wilbur Creston Keller from Washington, and then went 6 games, the better part of 2 months, without allowing a single point until last week against Castleford in the semifinal win. 1st and 10 for Dietrich, ball at the Kendrick 30. They're working right to left in our opening half of action. Power, QB Power, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, tiptoes the far sideline and takes it in for the 30-yard touchdown. Cody Power.
Wow. Cody Power out there on just a straight quarterback run from the right side. There was no doubt about it. Big hole, got some help from some blocking on the perimeter. And Dietrich is on the board here with 10:24 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a little QB Power by Cody Power, and ran it off right tackle and then broke it to the edge and takes it in, and Dietrich will now line up to try and go for 2 to tie this contest up. So again, Kendrick in the home, or in the road whites, Dietrich in the home black and blues, that sky blue look. 10:24 to play, opening quarter of action. Dietrich going for 2. Perkins, the man in motion, left to right. Power throws on the out route, caught by Perkins, the motion man for the 2-point conversion. So Cody Power finds Connor Perkins for 2, and 10:24 to play first quarter. All tied up at 8.
Yeah, shocker, isn't it? We are not even 2 minutes into the ball game. Both teams have got on the board with touchdowns. I see a pattern.
Yeah, something developing for sure. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by Bazzuto's Furniture and Appliance. They're a locally owned appliance, furniture, and mattress shop, proudly serving the Magic and Wood River Valleys since 1961. They made a commitment years ago to have the most knowledgeable professionals assist you with your purchase, and their team is friendly and willing to take the time to discuss the details of what you need for your home. They will work with you to find a product that fits your needs, budget, and lifestyle. Bazzuto's Furniture in Shoshone is proud to support the Dietrich Blue Devils. And Extreme Excavation in Shoshone offers all kinds of services for public works and private construction needs. From demolition and grading to underground utilities and complex septic systems, Extreme Excavation has a trusted reputation for meeting and completing tough and unique projects. They offer free estimates within a 100-mile radius. Get yours by calling 208-544-ROCK or go to extremeexcavationinc.com. So Extreme Excavation, reputation for taking on tough and unique projects. I would say both defensive coordinators are finding Stopping these offenses is a tough and unique project tonight, Scott.
Oh, you're not kidding. And there's another squib kick.
Another squib kick fielded at the 20-yard line by Sawyer Hewitt. Cuts up to the 25, the 30, breaks it to the outside on the near sideline and gives the stiff arm, but he'll ultimately be shoved out of bounds at the 35-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Kendrick. The Kendrick offense tonight up on the offensive line. 2 seniors, Jack Silflo, Tommy Stamper, and it's Brock Boyer, the sophomore, starting in place of junior Dallas Morgan, who suffered a season-ending knee injury 2 weeks ago. Big loss for that Kendrick line. So Boyer, the sophomore, gets the start. The tight end is senior Jagger Hewitt. The wide receiver is junior Hunter Taylor. In the backfield, junior Wyatt Fitzmaurice is the fullback, sophomore Sawyer Hewitt the running back, and Ty Kep the junior at quarterback. They'll start 1st and 10. They will hand off up the middle to Fitzmaurice. Kind of lost his footing there and only picks up 2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, he had a little bit of room on that left side. He tried to plant the right leg right at the 35-yard line and cut it back to his left, but slipped, lost his footing, and down he goes. That could have been another big play for Kendrick. The
Dietrich defense tonight. The defensive ends are seniors Hudson Lucero and Case Robertson. Dason Pisano, the senior, is the nose tackle. Peyton Sneddon, Hayden Estelle, Brody Torgerson are the linebackers. Connor Perkins and Cody Power will be in the secondary. 2nd and 8. Kept back to pass, has time, out route, caught, and then broken up at the last moment. Dietrich thought it was a live ball. They'll say no dice. They tried to go to Moose, Mason Kemberling on the out route. He had it, and then a big hit delivered at the end by Dietrich pops it out.
Yeah, Peyton Sneddon there in coverage, came up and closed quickly, timed it perfectly, got there right at the same time as the football, knocked it loose, and it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 8 upcoming now for Kendrick, 9:37 to go here in the first quarter.
Kendrick working left to right here in our opening quarter of action. So Mason Kemberling, the last intended receiver, they call him Moose. I asked one of the assistant coaches, why do you call him that? He said, I don't know.
Well,
we just do.
We had a sideline reporter tonight. He'd be finding that out. More on that later.
3rd and 8. Curl route, and Kep throws behind the intended receiver, Jagger Hewitt.
Yeah, Kep and Hewitt were not on the same page that time. I think Kep thought he was going to bust it out, and Hewitt kind of turned it into a little button hook at the first down marker. And now it's 4th and long, and this is something that I didn't think we'd see tonight, is a 4th and long play.
Well, Ty Kep is 0 for 3 passing tonight. That just never happens. You're right on that last play. The receiver turned in, Kep threw it to the outside. So 9:33 to play, first quarter. Kendrick will punt. It is Kep to do the honors and angled toward the near sideline, goes out of bounds around the Dietrich 45-yard line. The Blue Devils are going to have great field position to start here. Deadlocked at 8.
Yeah, second possession upcoming for Dietrich. And, of course, they scored on a 30-yard touchdown run by Power on their first possession. And we will have it for the second time here tonight at 9:28 to go in the first.
So the last 2 years in the 1A D2 championship, 2020, Dietrich was playing Cary, and Cary was the heavy favorite. They had blown past everybody all year, and nobody gave Dietrich a shot. Well, Blue Devils win the state title. Last year, Kendrick is playing Cary, and again, Cary's the big powerhouse there, the favorite, wire to wire. Kendrick knocks them off. This year, Kendrick is the big power. Will Dietrich be the spoiler? The 3rd year in a row in the D2 ranks. We'll wait and see. Power will throw 1st and 10 from his own 45. Tried to throw a curl route around the 50. Short hopped it by a step, incomplete.
Yeah, intended for Robertson, but good coverage by Hunter Taylor, as there was really nowhere to go with that football.
And, of course, Cary has played for several championships at the D2 level. They moved up to D1 this year, which kind of opened this void.
Yeah, it sure did.
And so you've got the previous 2 D2 champions playing. Kendrick, the 21 champs, Dietrich, the 20 champs. It's kind of like a best-of-3 game series here. Let's see who can. 2nd and 10. Power 4 wide again, 2 to either side. Man in motion left to right is Hudson Lucero. It's going to be a QB keeper. Cody Power trying to break it to the outside. Made one man miss a spin move across the 45 out to the 49-yard line of Dietrich. That's a gain of 4 to bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Carson Hogan making the tackle, but not after Power broke a couple of tackles. That was the same play, or it looked like the same play that he scored on their first drive when he took it in from 30 yards out. This time Kendrick, they were ready for it. Only a minimal gain brings up 3rd down.
8:55 and counting, first quarter of action, tied at 8 all. Couple of big plays. Kendrick ended up scoring on their opening drive when Hewitt scored from pretty long out, and then it was Cody Power with a long touchdown run. 3rd and 6. Trips to the right side. Power rolling out that way. Will throw on the run. Has a man open. He slipped and fell at the 32-yard line, still nearly made the catch. I believe that was Sneddon who was open there, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, credit Mason Kimberling on that play for Kendrick, because he's the one that got into the backfield and forced the errant throw from Power. Power rolling to his right, more or less forced to his right, and then had to throw it before he ran into the boundary on the far side, and it just kind of disrupted the play. But that was Mason Kimberling for Kendrick getting in there and making it happen. Now it's 4th down.
Yeah, interesting play there because it was the short side of the field. That's where all the receivers were, so Power didn't have a lot of room to work with as he rolled out that way. 4th down, Blue Devils will punt, high snap. Power's got to track it down back at his 35 and still gets off a pretty good punt. Good hang time. We'll take a Dietrich bounce, but it bounced off of a Blue Devil player. And we'll see where they down it at. Looks like going to be the 28-yard line, but nice job by Power to adjust.
Oh, man, that could have been disaster. A high snap, and he had to climb the ladder one-handed, nearly brought it in on his fingertips, but was able to at least get enough of a paw on it to slow it down and only retreat about 3 or 4 yards behind him to get the football, and then somehow managed to find a lane and get the kick away to avert disaster. And now Kendrick will have it for their 3rd possession of the game.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. 8:16 to play here. Opening quarter of action, working left to right. They'll hand off on 1st down. Right side ball came out. Dietrich recovers at the 38-yard line.
Wow.
That is Brody Torgerson with the fumble recovery as Hewitt put it on the turf.
Wow, Dietrich had 2 guys make the tackle, and that ball was out. I mean, Kendrick is crying for it or screaming for it to be down, but that thing was out, and I believe that was Hudson Lucero that knocked it loose as he was involved on the tackle for Dietrich.
So the Blue Devils get a turnover, and the Dietrich offense back to work out there. So the last 2 rounds of the playoffs, Kendrick defeated Camas County in the quarterfinals, the 3rd-place team from District 4. They beat Castleford last week in the semis, the 2nd-place team from District 4. They're going District 4 trophy hunting, and they're looking for the big Elkhead, which is the Dietrich Blue Devils here in the championship game tonight. 1st and 10, handoff up the middle. This is Hayden Estelle with his first carry of the night. We'll take it across the 35 to the 36-yard line, or the 34-yard line of Kendrick, where it'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Lane Clemenhagen in on the tackle for Kendrick, the 5'10 junior. And that's the thing about 8-man football sometimes is you have got to be able to tackle defensively to be successful. And this Kendrick team, they are very good tacklers.
They definitely bring the hammer. It is 2nd down and 7. Toss play right side across the 30, out to the 26-yard line, a gain of 8 and a 1st down for Sneddon.
And Brody Torgensen leading the way for Dietrich is the lead blocker on there, just kind of pushing people out of the way to allow his teammate to pick up the 1st down all the way down to the Kendrick 26.
7:20 to play, opening quarter of action, tied at 8-all, but Dietrich on the move following the Brody Torgerson fumble recovery. 1st and 10 for the Devils. Ball at the Kendrick 26-yard line. Toss play, left side. This is Estelle looking for the edge. Got to the 25, and then the door was slammed shut. Coming up to make the stop for Kendrick, Lane Clemenhagen, and he's kind of the enforcer back there as the safety.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Kendrick does so well is they're able to string out runners to the sideline before they can get their pads turned upfield, and that's exactly what Clemenhagen did on that one as they forced the runner to the sideline, waited for the reserves to come, and no gain on the play.
Earlier this year, Kendrick was playing Liberty Bell, Washington, and Clemenhagen delivered a clean but really violent hit, and at that point, Liberty Bell was like, yeah, we're done. We're calling this game.
That's it.
So Clemenhagen, a big hammer back there. 6.5 to play, 1st quarter, 2nd and 9. Cody Power started right now, works back to the left, broke a tackle, the 20, the 10, the 5, into the end zone, but a penalty flag comes out at the very end. Hold the phone, we'll see. For the moment, it's a 25-yard touchdown run for Cody Power, but let's see what this call is here. But again, it just showcases the ability. He started right, went back to the left, and broke 2 tackles on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, and that was a broken play that Power made something happen. And it looks like they are going to call this one against Kendrick as Dietrich on the sideline is celebrating. It's a face mask call against Kendrick. Touchdown is good. So Power with another run, this one from 25 yards out.
So Power's got a 30-yard touchdown run and now a 25-yard score. Kendrick's lone score came on that 65-yard touchdown run by Sawyer Hewitt. And this has got to be the first time in a long time, Scott, where Kendrick has been down.
Yeah, you look at they won a game 104-0. I mean, this is a Kendrick team that isn't used to being challenged.
2-point conversion run. Power started up the middle. Now bounces to the outside, right side, and gallops into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Boy, Kendrick did everything they were supposed to do. They plugged the gaps, but they didn't wrap up. And Power bounced to the outside, got the 2-point conversion in the right corner. And all of a sudden, Dietrich with 16 unanswered points. They lead it at the 6:20 mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, we could be here a while tonight, Scott, no doubt about it. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com is brought to you in part by Kendrick Dental and Dr. Fisher. They're proud to support the Kendrick Tigers. At Kendrick Dental, their mission is simple: to be the best dental experience you have ever had. From your first phone call to creating your most healthy and happy smile, Kendrick Dental strives to exceed expectations and be the area's most trusted dental team. Dr. Fisher has over 14 years of experience and is now accepting new patients. So come experience world-class dental care right in Kendrick. Visit kendrickdental.net to learn more. Go Tigers from Kendrick Dental. Also, Phil's Family Foods on Main Street in Kendrick is a proud supporter of Kendrick Athletics and wants to wish the Tigers good luck in the state championship game. And Nathan's Cafe and Spirits is proud to support the Kendrick Tigers. Come visit them on Main Street, a true small-town cafe with great food and even better people. Go Tigers from Nathan's Cafe and Spirits.
All right, we figured this was going to be a high-scoring game between these two teams, but quick start by Dietrich here in this 1A D2 championship game, taking advantage of the fumble that led to the 25-yard touchdown run by Power.
Kickoff, and finally a deep kick because of the 15-yard face mask penalty. It was assessed on the kickoff, so Dietrich was kicking off from the Kendrick 45, and they'll just blast it into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, one of the few times that the kicker probably had a chance to throw some leg into it. He's like, I haven't done this for a while.
You know, everybody gets into Holt Arena and says, I want to take a shot at kicking a field goal in here because it's a controlled environment, no weather, but everybody forgets here in Holt Arena, the goalposts are a little narrower because this is the college facility.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to it, no doubt. 1st and 10 for Kendrick, starting from their own 20. 6:20 to play first quarter. Tigers trailing 16-8. Quarterback keeper up the middle. Ty Kep, the 25, the 30, and out to the 32-yard line. And you saw at the very end of the tackle there, Dietrich trying to rip that ball out. Get another fumble recovery, but this time Kep holds on for a gain of 12.
Yeah, making the tackle, or at least in on the tackle for Dietrich, was Cody Power. And he got up just a little bit gingerly after making the tackle. But, of course, stays out on the field because that's what these tough small-town kids do.
So Power goes both ways for Dietrich. Ty Kep, the Kendrick quarterback, doesn't. He strictly plays offense. 5:50 and counting here before halftime. Receiver in motion right to left this time is Clemenhagen. They will throw a screen pass on the right side that is caught at the 30-yard line by Jagger Hewitt. Hewitt only picks up 3, though. Good tackle out there on the perimeter by the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Peyton Snedden, we talked about it. If you are going to be successful in 8-man football, because there's so much space on this field, because obviously you're playing with 6 less guys that are out on the field, you better be able to tackle in space. And that was the perfect example. Tried a little swing pass to the wideout. Snedden not having any of it, made a great open field tackle.
So Kep 1 for 4 passing for 2 yards tonight. We're not used to seeing that type of stat line. Right side handoff. Dietrich right there defensively. Gain of only 2. On the carry that time was Wyatt Fitzmaurice. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, Hayden Estelle made the tackle, ran right into him. But one of the things you're going to notice about the ball carrier that time was both hands wrapped around the ball, because you mentioned it a couple of plays ago. Dietrich got the fumble. Now all of a sudden you're hungry for another one, and they are slapping at that ball. Kendrick knows it, and you saw that last running back come right through the line, both arms wrapped around like a fullback does as he comes through the line.
Well, you know, turnovers are like bananas. They come in bunches. And
wow.
3rd and 5 now for the Tigers from their own 37. Receiver to either side. Kep out of the gun. Play action all day. Kep will roll out right side on the run. Fires wide open. Caught. That's Hewitt across the 50 to the Dietrich 49-yard line. Jagger Hewitt on the reception near sideline for a first down.
Yeah, credit kept for that one just because he kept it alive with his feet, had pressure right up the middle, and then was just forced to abandon the pocket before finding his receiver, Jagger Hewitt. Was that Hewitt on the reception?
Jagger Hewitt.
Yeah, and Hewitt did a good job of rolling with his quarterback. Once he saw him move to his right, he broke off his pattern and started fading to the sideline, and that allowed him to get open.
Jagger Hewitt and Sawyer Hewitt are cousins on this Kendrick team. We'll break down all the family dynamics here in a moment. 4 minutes to play first quarter. Kep throws an out route. That is caught across the 40 out to the Dietrich 35-yard line. Hunter Taylor with his first reception of the night along the near sideline. Gain of 14, then another Kendrick first down.
Yeah, Taylor had single coverage on that outside with Connor Perkins, and if he was to break one tackle, Taylor would have been in the end zone. But again, another open field tackle by Dietrich, this one by Perkins, but not before Kendrick moves the sticks all the way down to the Dietrich 35, 3:54 to go first quarter.
Back-to-back 14-yard completions from Kep. One to Jagger Hewitt, one to Hunter Taylor. First and 10 for the Tigers from the Dietrich 35. Swing pass caught, 35-30, still going, 25-20, and finally corralled at the 20-yard line. On the reception that time, Sawyer Hewitt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Sawyer got a nice block from Jagger Hewitt on the outside, as that was just more or less a swing screen in a way, because they were bringing in the wideout, which was Jagger, to block down on the corner of the linebacker, whoever walked out, and that allowed the other Hewitt to turn the corner.
Big development here, Scott, as I believe that's Cody Power being helped off to the sideline for Dietrich. Kind of was hanging his arm a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. And now Dietrich's going to spend a time out here to talk about this, but that would be a significant injury situation for Dietrich. Again, we believe that was Cody Power who came off. So we talked about all the Kendrick relatives on this roster, Scott. We'll start with the easy ones. Ty Kep and Colt Kep are brothers. Lane Clemenhagen and Tanner Clemenhagen are brothers. Then it gets a little trickier. Jagger Hewitt and Sawyer Hewitt are cousins. Then you've got Jack Silflo and Cade Silflo, and they're like distant cousins. They're like kind of related, but not really. You've got the Silflos. The boys basketball coach at Kendrick is Tim Silflo. So I asked, okay, well, which kid's his, Jack or Cade? And they said neither one. His son is Leighton Brown Sherrill. So it's, kind of a confusing family dynamics here.
Yeah, you get these small town schools, and the family trees are really interesting.
And of course, Dietrich's got some brothers and twin brothers as well, Wade and Wyatt Stowell. So now we've got a play blown dead here before it can start.
Okay, and I got to tell you what I just saw down on that Dietrich sideline. I was watching what they were doing with Cody Power, and they brought him off, and it looked like he had some sort of like a dislocated finger or something like that, because they were pulling on it. They weren't going up the arm, but they were trying to pop something back in, and they did. They threw his glove back on and tried to send him back out on the field, but the official made him go sit down.
All right, so first and 10 for Kendrick from the Dietrich 20. Run play left side. Kep will keep it to the 15, a gain of 5, and we'll keep an eye on whether Cody Power comes back out for that Dietrich defense. But it's 2nd and 5 for the Tigers. 3.5 to play first quarter. Kendrick trailing 16-8. Ball at the Dietrich 15-yard line.
Yeah, Power's back out there on the field, so I don't think there's much that's going to keep him out of a state championship game. He's got 10 fingers. Maybe he's got 9 now. Who knows? But he's out there playing. As he was, they may have just cut it off on the sideline. But you could just tell he was in pain. But once they got it popped back in, he ran right back out onto the field, and they sent him off.
2nd and 5 for the Tigers from the 15 of Dietrich. Kep will float it right side too high around the 10-yard line on the near sideline. Intended receiver was Jagger Hewitt, incomplete. It's now 3rd and 5 for Kendrick. Ball at the Dietrich 15.
Yeah, this is I don't want to say it's an important drive. All drives are important, but you get down this far against a Dietrich team that really has shown that they can score against this vaunted Kendrick offense. You want to match them stride for stride, because Big Mo swings in these games so quickly. And Kendrick right now at the Dietrich 15, facing 3rd and 5, obviously 4-down territory for Kendrick.
Dietrich fans making a lot of noise here on 3rd and 5. 2 receivers left side. Man in motion left to right is Hewitt. Kept back to pass, floats to the end zone, wide open, caught for the touchdown. That is Jagger Hewitt. from 15 yards out, and there was nobody within 5 yards of him. Power slipped and fell on the play as the deep safety, and that leads to a wide open score from 15 yards out.
Yeah, the only two Dietrich Blue Devils back there were Power and Snedden, and one of them hit the turf, which allowed the Kendrick receiver to go in untouched. Nobody around him. Touchdown Tigers.
That was Jagger Hewitt on the touchdown reception. Kendrick now to line up and go for two. Try and tie it up. Kep fakes the toss, goes right up the middle, and that door slammed shut. Trying to run right into the teeth of the Dietrich defense, and stepping up and making the tackle. Nicely done up front by the nose guard. I believe that was Pisano who came through on the stop. So with 2:51 to play here in the first quarter, 16-14, Dietrich maintains that 2-point lead. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com, brought to you in part by Shaw Land and Livestock. They've been family-owned and operated since 1971. Owner Hubert Shaw and the rest of the gang at Shaw L&L and Mercantile proudly supports Dietrich High School athletics. They'd like to wish the Dietrich boys good luck tonight. And Ken and Val Windermere Real Estate, looking for your next new home, farm, ranch, investment, or commercial property? If so, be sure to look no further than Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate for help. With over 22 years of experience in North Central Idaho, they are licensed in both Washington and Idaho to help make your dreams a reality wherever you may be. Two great agents to serve you with one mission to help you with all of your real estate needs. The choice is easy when it comes to real estate in the LC Valley and surrounding areas. Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate. The Hobarts are proud to support Kendrick Athletics and want to wish the Tigers good luck tonight.
All right, big touchdown there by Kendrick just to kind of keep matching Dietrich, even though they didn't get the 2-point conversion. 16-14, 2:51 in the first. Now, this is going to be interesting to see because we talked about Power getting hurt. It was his right hand that they were working on. So we'll see how that affects his ability to throw the football moving forward. Another squib kick, and it's all kinds of trouble.
I think Kendrick fell on top of that at the 35 if they were able to get on the ball before it went out of bounds. That's the only question.
And that's what the officials are talking about, as that thing was rolling out of bounds at the 35. And I just have a feeling it went out of bounds before Kendrick was able to jump on it.
So Dietrich, boy, Dietrich gets lucky there because it skimmed past the first line of Blue Devil return man, and it was angled toward the near sideline to where Dietrich didn't have a guy that was near it. And so it became a foot race at that point. The Kendrick guy got there first, but it rolls out of bounds before Kendrick can recover. So 1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 34, working right to left. 2:40 to play, opening quarter. Head up right side, Estelle, and he gets popped.
Wow, flying in there making the tackle is Nate Tweet. But we saw Power go under center that time in a traditional handoff. And that was not fooling Kendrick as Tweet shot the gap, made the play, and a loss of about 3.
Yeah, Hayden Estelle off that right side, and Tweet shot through there like a missile. 2:20 to play first quarter, 16-14. Dietrich lead is 2. 2nd and 13 for the Blue Devils from their own 31. 2 receivers and a wing back to the right side. Power out of the shotgun there. They rolled him out to that side last time, and they'll do it again. Power will throw at the last moment across his body and across the middle. It is caught by Case Robertson. Out across the 45 and up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 17 and a first down.
Well, that answers your question about the injury to Power. That took a little bit of strength to roll to your right, throw it across your body, and throw a laser and a strike. And Dietrich moves the chains, and Cody Power seems to be just fine.
And Case Robertson is kind of the possession receiver in this offense. When you need somebody to catch a ball, you're going to Robertson. So 1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 48. 1:40 to play here in our opening quarter of action. Power will hand off right side. This is not much, maybe a gain of a yard. I'm trying to see who was on the carry for that for Dietrich. Looked like it may have been Snedden.
And Brock Boyer for Kendrick was the one that got in there initially and got the first touch, but wasn't able to wrap up, but slowed him up enough to where help arrived. Only a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd down as we approach a minute to go in this very active first quarter.
You know, it's kind of like a heavyweight boxing match. We had a couple haymakers early, and now we've kind of settled in, and both sides are kind of feeling each other out. 2nd and 9 for Dietrich from their own 29. It's a bobbled snap. They tried to go to Perkins on the reverse, and Perkins will be brought down all the way back at the 37-yard line. Disaster for Dietrich as the snap was high, and then Power and Perkins never got the clean exchange.
No, Carson Hogan made the tackle, but that's the play that we talked about earlier where Dietrich got lucky the first time because they were able to bring the ball down, Power was, and able to make the handoff. That one a little bit too high. Power not able to hold on to it. Disaster for Dietrich. We saw it coming.
Loss of 10 on the carry for Perkins, and Perkins is like, man, I don't carry the ball that much, so that's really going to wreck my...
Yeah, no kidding, right? And this is what I get? Come on.
Now, you talked to both head coaches before the game tonight. We'll play those interviews at halftime, but Rick Estelle, the coach for Dietrich, said, you know, there's no egos on this team. We've got all these star athletes, but it is a true team that plays together. So we kind of say that tongue-in-cheek about Perkins being worried about his average, but it really is the true epitome of a team. Dietrich spent a timeout here with 7 seconds to go before the end of the first quarter. That is curious. So sometimes, Scott, you'll call a timeout because you're trying to preserve time or draw up a play. Seven seconds to go. So the other time you can call a timeout is if you're trying to motivate your guys, right? They just had a disastrous 10-yard loss, and you're trying to say, hey, take a breath. We've got this.
Yeah, or you know that you just don't ever call timeouts, and you're going to leave them on the board going into the locker room anyway, you know. So, or you like going this direction before you switch ends. Who knows? But, yeah, they didn't need to do that as the quarter would have expired. But, yeah, oh well, 7 seconds left. Let's see how long we can make this first quarter. We're already almost 40 minutes in, and it's still the first quarter.
One of 2 games tonight from Holt Arena. Skyline and Bishop Kelly in the 4A final after this one. So here we go. 3rd and 19 for Dietrich. Back to pass is Power. Power will take off and run. He's got room. The 50, the 45, and he picks up the first down out to the 40-yard line. He needed 19. He gets 21 to move the sticks. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. A 21-yard run out to the Kendrick 40.
Yeah, boy. Green field ahead for Power as coverage downfield shut the play down. Power had no choice. Stepped up in the pocket, but there was no spy, no nothing. And he had all sorts of real estate ahead of him, picked up the first down as the first quarter comes to a close.
So through 16-14, it is Dietrich with the 2-point lead. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by Heartland Ag. They are application. At Heartland Ag, application is what they do. From case and RBR application equipment, tanks, trailers, and all your spraying and spreading needs. Located in Burley, give them a call at 800-994-9120 or find them online at heartlandag.com. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Strom Electric. They've been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie regions since 1938, providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects, electrical motor repair, and well pump installations. Strom Electric is licensed and insured in Washington, Idaho, and Montana. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or to install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Strom Electric, strong supporters of local high school sports. And if you're an Idaho homeowner and have fallen behind on your mortgage because of the COVID-19 pandemic, help is available. The Idaho Homeowner Assistance Fund can help you get back on track. Check your eligibility and apply today at idahohousing.com/HAF or call 888-991-2166.
All right, we've switched ends of the field, and Dietrich now will be moving left to right in front of us. They've got it at the Kendrick 40-yard line, and on first down, it's a gain of only 2 off that left side. And here we go, start of the second quarter, 16-14, Dietrich on top.
Yeah, that's Estelle running the ball there. It's going to make it 2nd and 7 for Dietrich. Ball is at the Kendrick 37. So Dietrich had a 3rd and 19 right before the end of that first quarter. And there were 7 seconds left, and Coach Estelle took the timeout, and we were like, yeah, that's interesting. And then Cody Power ran for 21 yards, and they got the first down, so it worked out all right.
Yeah, great timeout, apparently.
Second down and 7. 2 receivers to either side and power out of the shotgun formation. It's a screen pass right side caught by Perkins, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, and finally cut down there. That's a touchdown-saving tackle from Wyatt Fitzmaurice, but it is a gain of 17 and a first down.
Yeah, Fitzmaurice saved the day on that one as Dietrich did a good job setting up the screen on that right side, but Fitzmaurice able to make the tackle at the 20 to save the touchdown. Fresh set of downs. Dietrich on the move again.
10:55 and counting here before halftime. It is a 2-point lead for Dietrich on the move again. They'll send 2 receivers to either side of the formation, and again, it'll be power alone out of the shotgun. Now, Kendrick was blitzing a lot early, sending 4 guys against 3 blockers, but a couple of power touchdown runs, and they've decided to play a little more conservatively. And this time, power gets bottled up. Did the ball come out at the end? Kendrick is saying they got back on top of it, and they did. Oh, my goodness. A fumble recovery for the Tigers at the 20-yard line.
And that was Wyatt Fitzmaurice that came away with it, and it was hard to see from our vantage point whether or not it was just ripped out of the arms or it actually hit the turf and Kendrick jumped on it. Nonetheless, Dietrich turns it over in the red zone and gives Kendrick the football.
So now each side has had a key fumble. It'll be 1st and 10 for Kendrick from their own 20, working right to left. Kept throwing a deep ball on the out route, just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Jagger Hewitt. Threw it a yard out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jagger just ran out of real estate, tried to run a little flag route on the wide side of the field, but the ball just carried and carried and carried, and nowhere to go with that one. 2nd down and 10, 10-17 to play here in the second quarter.
And so Kep is only at about 50% passing right now, on the season. 93 of 147, that's around 60%. So 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. It's a QB draw right side for Kep. Breaks a tackle at the 30 and spills his way out to the 33 for a pickup of 13 and a first down.
Yeah, Connor Perkins is the one that tripped him up as Kep had a full head of steam. And if he were able to get by Connor Perkins, who knows how far he would have gone. But a fresh set of downs up to the 33 now for Kendrick.
10 minutes to play here before halftime. A 16-14 lead for the Blue Devils. And Kendrick has started to slow things down a little bit here as both Kep and Clemenhagen go to the sideline to get the play from head coach Zane Hobart.
Yeah, you got both these teams, or a lot of the guys on both these teams playing both ways, and to play at a breakneck speed on both sides of the ball is going to take its toll, and you better take a break now and then.
Coach Hobart in his 10th season in charge of this Kendrick program, and a bobbled snap by Ty Kep, but it's blown dead anyways on a false start by the Tigers. So that'll move it back 5 yards, make it 1st and 15 now. Ball will be back at Kendrick's 28.
And with Kendrick, they went through that little stretch midway through the season where they didn't play a full game, and so, that you just don't hear about those things. In a month of football, they played, 6 quarters?
Yeah, it was.
We can explain more about that here in just a minute.
1st and 15. Kept rolling out, going for the home run ball to Clemenhagen. Oh, he tried to make the over-the-shoulder grab, lost it in the lights here at Holt Arena. It bounces off his chest, incomplete around the 40 of Dietrich.
Yeah, Clemenhagen had a step, but he just got into that weird spot where the football was coming directly over his head, almost like he had to lean straight back to get it. And that was going to be a tough catch if he were to make it. But it falls incomplete. But Clemenhagen did have a step and a nice pass there by Kep.
Yeah, 3 times this year against Washington opponents, Wilbur Creston Keller, Liberty Bell, and Tico Rosalia. All 3 of those teams said midway through the second quarter, yeah, we're good. We're going to call the game here. So it was kind of an interesting thing for Kendrick. There's a pass on a slant intended for Jagger Hewitt, and Kep sailed it high. It's incomplete. It's now 3rd and 15 for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think he had him too. Sneddon was in coverage, but he was behind the receiver. The pass was just overthrown.
9:14 to play here before halftime. 16-14 Dietrich, and we kind of joked and said this is going to be an offensive shootout, and yet here we are, though, midway through the second quarter. Kind of a low-scoring affair, 16-14. But all it takes is one play with either one of these teams,
no
right?
kidding, right? That could change on a heartbeat. The over-under was 100. I still might take the over.
And now we've got a stoppage of play, and I believe a timeout going to be called here by Kendrick. So Kendrick will spend their first timeout of this first half. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by Donley Farms. They're a proud supporter of Dietrich Athletics, and they want to wish the Dietrich boys good luck tonight. And Furry Tail Mercantile, your place for anything old, new, and everything in between, right on Main Street in Kendrick. Proud to support the Tigers. Good luck from Furry Tail Mercantile.
Furry Tail Mercantile. You know what? That's got to be the best name I've heard. And I just kind of like the word mercantile anyway.
Yeah, right.
But you put a little furry tail in front of that, man.
Well, and I never know how to, because some people say mercantile, some people say mercantile. Furry Tail Mercantile? Furry Tail Mercantile?
You turn it into a tongue twister at that point. It's mercantile. It's mercantile. I watched old Little House on the Prairie. They had a mercantile store, didn't they?
Yeah. You know, that was the true test of whether I'm an Idahoan or not. And I've been exposed as an imposter.
Yeah. Yep. You didn't watch the Waltons and all that Little House and New Little House. And
out of the timeout, 3rd and 15 for Kendrick from their own 28. 9:14 to play before halftime. Kep backpedaling, throwing a deep ball, broken up around the 45-yard line. Great pass coverage by Cody Power. Breaking it up, the intended receiver was Hewitt.
Yeah, they tried to take Hewitt just straight out of the backfield or the slot and run him on just a kind of a banana flag route. And coming in from the safety was Power, who timed it right and knocked it away.
So 9:08 to play here before halftime. And Kendrick on 4th and 15 will punt it away again. The caveat being Ty Kep is the punter, so you always have to keep an eye on that. But this deep in their own territory. It's a line drive kick that was blocked and recovered at the Kendrick 32-yard line. What a huge play for the Blue Devils, though, and I believe that was Pisano, the nose tackle, who came through and blocked. Or no, Hudson Lucero came through and blocked that, number 9. What a play.
Boy, what a big swing in field position as Dietrich has it now at the 33-yard line of Kendrick. 5 possessions for Kendrick so far. They've got 2 touchdowns, a fumble, a punt, and a punt blocked. Not really what Kendrick is used to when you break down their possessions. And they're going to have to try to get something figured out on the offensive end, because right now Dietrich is winning the battle on the defensive side of the football.
So Hudson Lucero came through and blocked that punt. Dietrich is his 3rd team in 4 years, not by his choice. We'll get into that story here right after this play on first down. He's been a welcome addition to this Dietrich team this year. 9:01 to play here before halftime, 4 wide. Man in motion left to right. High snap again. They get it down, though. They'll turn and hand off right side. This is Connor Perkins out to the 30 and bang down there after a gain of 4. So Hudson Lucero started his career at Richfield. He played his freshman and sophomore years at Richfield, and then they had low numbers to the point where he showed up his junior year or during the summer. There were only 6 kids at the meeting, and you need 8 at least to play. So he said, well, this isn't going to work. He goes down the road to Shoshone High because they were playing a JV-only schedule, so he didn't have to jump through all the eligibility hoops. He could play right away for Shoshone at the JV level. And then his senior year decided, I want to compete at the varsity level again, and Richfield still didn't have enough kids for a team. So he said, let me apply to see if I can go to Dietrich. He appealed to the IHSAA, was granted immediate status, and he's been a welcome addition to this Dietrich team.
Absolutely, good story.
So after the 4-yard gain to Perkins, this is Power up the middle, lowering the shoulder and taking it out to the 23-yard line for a pickup of 6 and a first down.
Yeah, that was a design quarterback draw by Cody Power, and it picks up the first down. And this is the 5th possession now for Dietrich. And remember, last time they had the ball down here right into this territory and fumbled it away right at the 20-yard line.
8:40 and counting here before halftime. It is 1st and 10 for Dietrich. Ball at the Kendrick 22-yard line. And Dietrich was right around this spot on their last possession when Power fumbled it at the 20-yard line. See if they can hang on to the ball here as Power will line up under center with split backs behind him. We haven't seen this formation much tonight. Toss play left side. This is Estelle, gets a block across the 20, and second effort kept it going all the way to the 16-yard line. He squeezes 3 extra yards out of that run at the end there. That's a gain of 6 for Hayden Estelle.
Yeah, Hayden Estelle, nice little run, plants the left foot, gets the pads turned upfield immediately, and then becomes a more difficult ball carrier to bring down rather than moving laterally. Got himself up the field.
So we talked about the family dynamics on the Kendrick side. Hayden Estelle is Rick's son, Rick Estelle, the head coach. His uncle, or his cousin, Brody Estelle, is the assistant coach and the athletic director. And Brody is Rick's nephew. So there's a lot of family dynamics involved here at Dietrich as well. Handoff right side. Actually, Power keeps it across the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Should be enough for the first down. And then during basketball season, Rick Estelle is the girls basketball head coach at Dietrich, and his assistant is Brody's wife, Charlie Estelle. So there you go. You need a diagram to keep track of all that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Power did get enough for the first down. It's a gain of 5, and 1st and 10 for the Devils now. Ball at the Kendrick 12, and we're down to 7:15 to play before halftime, and Dietrich leading by 2, 16-14.
I mean, you could have a practice and a family reunion at the same time. I mean, you really could.
You talk about 8-man football and 8-man basketball. A lot of teams have to use chairs as defenders in practice,
Yes.
right? They don't have 10 people to simulate a defense. 1st and 10 from the 12. Power at the last moment pitches out. This is Sneddon on the carry inside the 10, down to the 9. That's a gain of 3 for Peyton Sneddon.
Sneddon with a nice little stiff arm to get him 4 extra yards on the play, down inside the 10 at the 9. 6:48 to go before the break. Blue Devils on top 16-14, but knocking on the door, looking for a little bit more.
And Dietrich did kick off to start this game tonight, so they will get the ball to start the second half. So Kendrick feeling the urgency here defensively to hunker down. 2nd and 7 for the Devils. Ball at the Kendrick 9-yard line. Leading by 2. 2 receivers left. Single receiver to the right is Robertson. Power, hard count. Kendrick jumped.
Yeah, boy, they got Kendrick and Mason Kimberling, who jumped right over the center, playing nose tackle. And we'll move that just a little bit closer to the goal line.
Yeah, Mason Kimberling. They call him Moose.
Yeah, we're still working on that story.
I wouldn't want a moose bearing down on me, I'll tell you that much. So now they're going to make it 2nd down, and, because once you're inside the 10, you only move it half the distance to the goal, so it's at the 4.5-yard line. So officially it's 2nd down and 2, ball just shy of the 4. And 4 wide again, Power alone out of the shotgun. Sneddon, the man in motion right to left. And now he'll line up under center, take the direct snap, and take it into the end zone for a 4-yard rushing touchdown. Peyton Sneddon, what a play.
Wow, a little bit of trickeration / wildcat, if you will, as they bring Sneddon in motion, and instead of running through the formation, he just stopped under center, took the snap, and away he went.
That was a cool play design, and that's the kind of wrinkle you save for a state championship game.
Well, and what that does is, you've got 3 offensive linemen for Dietrich. You've got 3 defensive linemen for Kendrick. It's mano a mano, and then you bring in an extra guy in the quarterback because now all of a sudden he's under center. You've got the advantage at the line of scrimmage, and they just used that, Dietrich did, to get into the end zone.
We talked about Kendrick missing one of their 2-way linemen, junior Dallas Morgan. Suffered a knee injury 2 weeks ago. He's on crutches. 2-point conversion pass goes through the hands of a Kendrick defender, and then it goes through the hands of the Dietrich receiver as well. So the 2-point pass is offline, but it remains 22-14. Dietrich in front. So we talked about, the loss of Dallas Morgan for Kendrick. And he's a big guy, 6'3", 250, and a 2-way lineman and only a junior. So
that's a big fella
Yeah.
at any level.
Well, and that's the other thing you'll notice about this Kendrick roster. A lot of juniors and sophomores, not too many seniors. In fact, only 4.
Well, but you look at what they did last year. They didn't graduate many from last year's team. One guy.
Yeah.
And here they are again, loaded with a lot of underclassmen and playing for a state title game, rolling through. We have not heard the last of Kendrick for quite some time.
And, what I've heard from people up north is what they're doing at the varsity level, they're doing at the freshman level, at the 8th grade level, at the 7th grade level. So this could be continuing for a while. Though somebody, once famously said, every middle school football team in the state is undefeated, right? Anybody you talk to, we got some junior high kids coming through the pipeline.
Yes, we did. And then, and then they go into undefeated as 8th graders, and then they don't do well as far. Well, why? We were undefeated in junior high. It's like, come on. It's not the same. You're building down there.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. But they definitely have got it going on in Kendrick, that's for sure, as they are a perennial powerhouse. But you know what? So's Dietrich and Cary and all these other teams down here in the Sawtooth Conference. But up north, Kendrick is the king of the hill.
And not just in football, but their volleyball team got the state this year. Girls basketball team got to the championship game 2 years ago. Bobbled for a moment at the 25 and then sliding backwards to the 23-yard line is Xavier Carpenter on the kick return. And again, neither side inclined to kick it deep. We're just going to squib and see what happens on the turf.
Well, and every time they've done it, it has been drama. It's been one of those things. It's been a very good special teams play to shift field position and almost get a turnover.
Our officiating crew tonight is from District 6. That is here in East Idaho. We'll give you our officials here in just a moment. They've done a great job tonight with 2 explosive offenses. 6:41 to play before halftime. 1st and 10 for Kendrick from the 23. Kept up the middle, breaks a tackle across the 30, out to the 34-yard line. That is a gain of 11 and a first down for Kendrick. So our officials tonight are Marshall Marler, Tegan Smith, Tad Pearson is the head linesman, Rick Daly the line judge, Blair Peepo is the field judge, Mike Colson the side judge, and then Kyle Martin is our back judge. And again, those are District 6 officials tonight. Doing a great job.
Yeah, they are, because we haven't even noticed them.
That's right. The more anonymous you stay, that means the better job you're doing. Fitzmaurice on 1st and 10 will carry it off right tackle for a gain of only 2 to make it 2nd and 8.
Robertson in on the tackle for Dietrich. But, many thanks to all of our officials around the state. That is not the most envious job in the world for obvious reasons, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, you name it, list goes on. I mean, there's a shortage around the state. And so, for us to have these quality officials in Idaho and that show up, many thanks. Hats off to them.
5:40 to play before halftime. Handoff up the middle. This is Fitzmaurice across the 40, out to the 41-yard line with 5.5 to play before halftime. 3rd and 3 upcoming here for the Tigers.
Now Lucero coming from the weak side, making the tackle and keeping Kendrick from getting that first down, as we have 5:20 to go. Clock is moving here before the break.
This is Dietrich's 2nd consecutive game inside Holt Arena. They played in the semifinals last week against Garden Valley here. Kendrick, of course, making their first trip. Kept up the middle, gets the first down across the 45, out to the 47, and a gain of 6, and that'll move the chains. And so the first time you come play here in the Dome, as they call it, Holt Arena, it does take a minute or two to get adjusted to it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just a different atmosphere. It's a different way of it's a different feel on your feet. It's you don't plant quite the same as you would on natural grass, and it is a different, and you do have to get used to it.
4:40 to play here before halftime. 2 receivers right, single receiver to the left. Kemp will throw to the right side. It's caught on a curl at the 50, and then Peyton Sneddon steer wrestles Hewitt to the ground. That's Jagger Hewitt to the 49 for a gain of 5.
Yeah. Great open field tackle by Peyton Sneddon. We keep harping on that point. You've got to be able to tackle in space, and Sneddon's made a couple of those plays tonight.
Makes it 2nd and 5 for Kendrick. 4:15 and counting before halftime. 22-14 lead for Dietrich. Handoff right side. This is Sawyer Hewitt out across the 45 of Dietrich to the 43, right at the first down marker. That'll be a gain of 5. And they'll move the sticks.
Yeah, Power comes in from the safety position to make the tackle right at the line to gain. But fresh set of downs for Kendrick. They're on the move here as we approach 4 minutes to go before the break.
Kendrick on the move earlier this week to come all the way down here to Pocatello.
Yeah.
I was talking to their coaches before the game. I said, long trip for you guys. First time in Holt Arena. I said, you know what? right at home with all the orange and black that are for the Idaho State Bengals. Of course, Kendrick also wears orange and black. A little curl route again, caught by Jagger Hewitt on the near sideline across the 40 out to the 38-yard line. That is another 5. The last 3 plays from scrimmage for Kendrick have gone 5, 5, and 5 yards. They're just dinking and dunking.
Yeah, they are. They're matriculating the ball up the field a little bit, but what it's doing is it's cutting back on the possessions that these teams have. You look at that first quarter. Kendrick had 4 possessions in that first quarter. This is only their second possession here in the second quarter. You know, the only one they had, the punt blocked.
Yeah.
And then Dietrich kind of took their time getting into the end zone. So both of these offenses right now are slowing down the pace a little.
3:05 to play before halftime. Kep, QB keeper up the middle, the 30, the 25, the 20. No one will get him. Into the end zone for a 38-yard Kendrick touchdown.
Boy, what a big hole for Kep to run through. And we are a 2-point conversion away from being tied again.
We talked about it. It can happen that quickly. Kep from 38 yards out, like the parting of the Red Sea. Nobody home, and Kep takes it in from 38 yards away with 2:59 to play here before halftime. Kendrick will line up and go for 2 here, down to 22-20. Receiver to either side, tight end to other side. Looks like a true 5-man offensive line. Jagger Hewitt, the man in motion, left to right. Kep back to pass. Will try and find his way up the middle, and nowhere to go. Great tackle by
that was Brody. Yeah, Torgerson.
So they're denied on the 2-point run, and it remains 22-20. Dietrich with the 2-point lead, and 2:59 to play here before halftime.
Yeah, and Dietrich's going to have the football here for their 3rd possession of the quarter. They got 3 possessions in that first quarter, about ready to get their 3rd. I mean, that was a very quick, fast-paced first 5, 6, 7 minutes of that ball game, as we thought we were going to have like 50 possessions each before half. But, you know, you noticed, and we brought up the point that, you know, these kids are going both ways. They're not – they can't sustain that type of pace for so long. So at some point, something's going to have to slow down, and we have seen it slow down here in the second half. Now, the scoring is still up there, 22-20, and there's still 3 minutes to go, so that's like 5, 6 more touchdown possibilities, it seems.
Yeah, you know, Oakley and Carey played last week, and there was about in a 3-minute window, each team had the ball, you know, I think like 3 times. It was
yeah,
it was pretty wild.
Which is so crazy. But the thing about these 2 teams that really helps limit everything is that they're both really good tackling teams. And so they limit the big plays they're giving up defensively. Now, we've seen a couple of them, and those things are going to happen. It's 8-man football on a field that's so big for 8 guys, but it's not because we don't have good tacklers and they're breaking tackles in space. In fact, it's the opposite. We've seen so many great defensive plays already that stop big plays.
2:59 to play before halftime. It is a squib kick again, fielded by Cody Power, and he returns it out to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich with 2:55 to play before halftime. Dietrich working left to right here for the final 2:55 of the opening half. And Dietrich would love to do here, Scott, what we call the old 2-for-1.
2-for-1, you betcha.
Where they come down and score right before halftime, don't leave Kendrick enough time to score, and then they get the ball to start the second half, and they go down and score again.
Yeah, it's one of the big things in coaching, you know, is you always look for those possession steals. You know, it's like in basketball right before a quarter. If you know you've got the possession arrow and you've got the ball at the end of the quarter, make sure you score because you're going to get a 2-for. You know, same thing here right before the half.
1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 40. Another option play, a pitch at the end to Estelle, and Hayden Estelle will take it out to the 44 for a gain of 4. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry, that was Jagger Hewitt that made the tackle on the side because Dietrich had that set up really, really well. They came in with a crack block, but it was an option play. And so what they were trying to do was isolate Kendrick in space, and that person they were going to isolate was Jagger Hewitt, and they were going to force him to make a tackle, and he did.
And that's Kendrick does that so well, one-on-one tackles. Back to your point about stealing possessions in basketball, you see it in college basketball a lot with the shot clock where if you're down to like 40 seconds before halftime, you try and get 2 possessions.
Yep, you're going to see it in high school next year.
That's right, with the shot clock coming. 2nd and 6, Power, deep. Oh! Oh, nearly picked at the 50-yard line, and that would have been a pick six. But it goes off the hands of Sawyer Hewitt, incomplete.
Oh, boy, those are the opportunities you don't get very often. Sawyer Hewitt read that thing perfectly, jumped the route, had it go right through his hands, or he would have walked into the end zone.
And Power never saw him, and oh, boy.
Yeah, see, those things just don't happen very often, and you just can't let those opportunities get by you.
It's easy to forget, Sawyer Hewitt's only a sophomore because he's dominated this year and he's played so well. I mean,
he's a big sophomore too, 5'11".
So it's 3rd and 6 now for Dietrich following the incomplete pass. 2:06 to play before halftime. Devils up 2. Penalty flag comes out. This could be a delay of game, and that's exactly what it is.
Boy, so 3rd and long just went to 3rd and longer.
So delay of game makes it 3rd and 11 now for Dietrich from their own 39. 2:06 to play before the half.
Yeah, Kendrick plays their cards right. They're going to get another possession here.
Power out of the shotgun. 2 receivers stacked to the right side. Roll out that way. Power has time. Hit as he throws and had a man open. Robertson at the 47-yard line. But because he held onto the ball a beat too long, he got demolished as he released it, and that throws the pass off target, 4th down.
Yeah, that was Wyatt Fitzmaurice that laid the lick on Cody Power, and Power waited till the very last second to throw that ball, but he paid for it. And coming off the field, Fitzmaurice was having a conversation with the official just to, hey, it's okay. I celebrated. I wasn't taunting because, I mean, you get a hit like that, you're going to show a little bit of emotion.
Yeah, no doubt. So 4th down, Dietrich will punt here with 1:59 to play before halftime. I think they're going to punt. They got a guy in motion. It is a rollout punt for Power. Spins and will take a Kendrick bounce at the 30. And now we'll be down by Dietrich at the 26. So now 1:47 to play before halftime. Kendrick down 2, 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line, and they still have 2 timeouts as well.
Yeah, there's all kinds of time here for Kendrick to put it right down the field and take the lead on this in a half that's really kind of been dominated by Dietrich. Aside from that opening drive by Kendrick, which really was 3 plays.
Yeah.
Dietrich has taken over, but Kendrick has hung in there. And now they've got a chance with 1:47 to play. 1st down from their own 26-yard line. 2 timeouts to see if they can take the lead.
Receiver to either side, tight end to other side. Only 2 receivers into the pattern. Kendrick going for a deep ball and overshoots his man. Jagger Hewitt incomplete. So that was interesting. Only 2 guys ran out into the pattern. They had 5 guys in to block, and so already Kep's options were pretty limited.
Yeah, that was designed just to hit the home run. They knew where they wanted to go, but Peyton Snedden was on an island out there defensively, had that thing covered perfectly because they were trying to go up top, man on man, and have their guy make a play.
And so Kep ends up throwing it about 10 yards further than anybody. With 1:40 to play before halftime now, 2nd and 10. They will keep it with Kep, and he loses his footing and loses 3 yards.
Yeah, blowing up the play for Dietrich was number 18. That is Pisano. As Pisano just blew through that offensive line and got right into the backfield and took Kep to the turf.
So that makes it 3rd and 13 now for Kendrick from their own 23-yard line, actually their own 24.
Yeah, and it's too bad, too, because they had the opportunity here, and now they're letting the clock wind down. And if you're Dietrich, well, you've got 1 timeout. If they don't get it here, Kendrick, I wouldn't be surprised if Dietrich blows that timeout to get the ball back.
Yep, I agree 100% with that. Kep letting the clock burn. We're down to 55 seconds to play before halftime. Kep will throw into the flat, throw it behind Fitzmaurice, incomplete.
And they're not going to need to use the timeout as the clock stops on the incompletion with 51 seconds to go. So now Dietrich should be able to get the ball back and with decent field position because really Kendrick didn't go anywhere.
And punting has been an adventure for Kendrick tonight. There was a punt that didn't go very far that kind of hit off the side of the foot. And then, of course, there was the punt block. And so Kendrick punting inside their own 20-yard line, no guarantee here what happens.
Yeah, this is their third punt of the half.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've been able to say that this year at all.
No, and really only one of them has been a clean punt that has traveled in a traditional way. So here is the punt. That is a good one. We'll take a bounce at the 40, and Dietrich's return man Power will let it go. It'll be down at the 35-yard line of Dietrich with 39 seconds to play before halftime. The Devils up 2 with one timeout still in their back pocket.
Yeah, we'll see what Dietrich decides to do here. I mean, in 8-man football sometimes 39 seconds seems like an eternity. But with one timeout, Dietrich can afford to, work the field a little bit. And let's see what happens. This will be their 7th possession of the half. Now, we talk about Kendrick punting 3 times. Dietrich's punted twice themselves.
And, of course, each side has turned it over once as well. Each team has fumbled.
Yeah, I mean, you look up and down the stat sheet, possession charts, time of possession, all that kind of stuff. I mean, this has been a pretty even first half.
The scoreboard reflects that, 22-20. Dietrich lead is 2. First and 10 for Dietrich from their own 35, 39 seconds to play before halftime. 4 wide. QB draw with Power to the 40. Trying to get to the edge and will be brought down around the 43-yard line, a gain of 8.
Yeah, now Dietrich's either got to get to the line or burn that timeout, and they're letting the clock run. Oh, now they take the timeout. They could have saved about 5 seconds by taking it a little bit sooner, but that was their last timeout. 25 seconds to go before the break. The line of scrimmage is going to be their own 48-yard line.
Yeah, and Power took off at the 40, and I thought he would step out of bounds there to preserve the clock. Because he didn't, he got 3 extra yards on the run, but he also lost, a good 10 seconds.
And that's where you got to understand kind of situational football. I mean, it's more important to sacrifice those 3 yards and save the clock and timeouts. But now you're up against the 8 ball here just a little bit, because you've got 25 seconds to go 57 yards and no timeouts. You're going to need a big play.
It'll be 2nd and 2, our game reset. 25 seconds to play before halftime. 22-20. Dietrich lead is 2. Dietrich has the ball. 2nd and 2 from their own 43. Only 25 seconds to work with. Dietrich now has no timeouts remaining. Kendrick still has 2. We'll see what the Blue Devils draw up here. They'll send 2 receivers to the right, single receiver to the left, and now Estelle will be in the slot on the left as well, so it's a 4-wide formation here for Power. 25 seconds to go before halftime. It's another QB draw for Power. We'll bring it to the outside, the 50, the 45, and we'll step out at the Kendrick 40-yard line. That is a gain of 17 and a first down.
Yeah, that was the exact same play they just ran, and I'm willing to bet that the coaching staff told Power, hey, there is room on this. We're going to spread the field, give you some room, let you run, but get out of bounds.
Yes.
And he did.
He did. So, and that only took 6 seconds off the clock. We went from 25 to 19, so that was a great play. 17 yards in only 6 seconds?
Yeah.
I don't know if a pass gets you that. I mean, that was pretty impressive.
And now Kendrick's akin to it now. They kind of know that if you're going to spread the field, it might be another quarterback draw, but now here comes Dietrich in a different formation.
1st and 10 for the Devils. Trips to the right this time, nobody to the left. Power rolling out to the right side, feeling the heat. Will, at the last moment, flick it downfield, throws it incomplete. In between 2 receivers, Sneddon was around the 10. It was Robertson around the 20, and the pass landed at the 15.
Yeah, smart play by Power just to get rid of it, not trying to turn it upfield and make something happen, because I think in another situation he may have tried to get some positive yards, but the situation didn't call for it. And now for Dietrich, what they've got to do from their own 40-yard line with 12 seconds to go, work the sideline, get a little bit closer if you can. You have time for 1, maybe 2 plays on a quick out just to chew up some yardage, and then make that final play you take a shot at the end zone. But right now, 40 yards away, it's too far away to take a shot at the end zone.
2nd and 10 from the 40. 10 seconds to play here before halftime. Power dances his way out of a sack, throws across his body. Jump ball cut.
They're going to run out of time.
At the 25-yard line. Now the clock will stop while they set the ball. Only 3 seconds remaining. Great catch made by Robertson. They'll have to spike it right away or snap it and throw a Hail Mary.
Spike it if you can. They're
2 seconds.
They're not going to. They're going to play it out right here. Last play of the half.
Power floats
Nope.
to the end zone, picked off at the 10-yard line. Kendrick comes away with the interception.
Oh boy, one block.
This is Sawyer Hewitt, and Hewitt will be forced out of bounds around the 40, and that is how the first half will come to an end. Dietrich had a shot, but they throw an interception as time expires, and so at halftime, a tight one is as promised. Dietrich 22, Kendrick 20. We will be back with the halftime show right after this break. You're listening to the 2022 1A D2 State Football Championship on IdahoSports.com.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, well, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in Idaho, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
Welcome to the Ryerson Family Backyard Games. There will be obstacles to face and challenges to overcome. Are you ready?
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Former regional champ and back end training.
That's commitment.
Ow.
Oh, tough start. This is not as easy as it used to be, folks.
And she's off. Obviously pushing through some pain.
Every muscle is begging her to stop. How's she doing this?
I'm not even sure she knows.
Look at her go. And stop.
Come on.
And go again.
It's literally the home stretch. Whoa.
She made it. Feel the elation.
What fuels that kind of fire?
I am Kevin, and I'm from Idaho Falls. It's important for the disabled to be vaccinated because of COVID. I chose to be vaccinated because I didn't want to be sick or in the hospital. Getting the vaccination, my experience was painless and worth it. It was a very wise choice.
Look at that. The unmistakable swagger of someone fully covered with health insurance through Your Health Idaho for as low as $0 a month. If you're as speechless as I am right now, say nothing. Health yeah! Enroll by December 15th and you could qualify for quality health insurance starting at $0 a month.
Welcome back to Holt Arena on the campus of Idaho State University in Pocatello. Brandon Baney, Scott Burton inside the broadcast booth. Halftime of the 1A D2 state championship game. And at the break, it is Dietrich on top of Kendrick, 22-20 here at halftime. Let's revisit our first half scoring summary, and then we'll check in with our sideline reporter, Paul Kingsbury. Kendrick scored first, 65-yard touchdown run from Sawyer Hewitt. Ty Kep ran in the two-point conversion, 8-0 lead for Kendrick. Dietrich responds, though, 30-yard touchdown run from Cody Power. Power then hits Connor Perkins for the 2, and we were tied 8-all. Then, following a fumble recovery by Brody Torgerson, Dietrich turns that into points. 25-yard touchdown run for Power, 16-8 Dietrich. Again, Kendrick responds. Kep, 15 yards to Jagger Hewitt. It was 16-14 Dietrich at the end of a quarter. To the second quarter, Fitzmaurice with a fumble recovery for Kendrick. Don't get anything out of it. In fact, they have to punt. That's when Hudson Lucero came through for Dietrich and blocked the punt. And from there, Peyton Sneddon scores on a 4-yard run. But just before halftime, Ty Kep scores a 38-yard touchdown run to lead us here at 22-20. Let's check in now with our sideline reporter down on the field. Paul Kingsbury is standing by. We wanted to do some investigative journalism earlier tonight about Mason Kimberling from Kendrick. So take it away, Paul. Or not.
Or not, Paul.
Okay,
we lost him. He had his people lined up.
All right. Well,
but you know him. He's probably visiting and shaking hands and kissing babies down there.
Chit-chatting and whatnot. So Mason Kimberling from Kendrick is called Moose, and we wanted to find out why. So we sent Paul down to do some investigative reporting. Paul, are you there? Go ahead. Paul, you're live. Go for it.
All right, guys, I'm down here in the stands with Mason Kimberling's dad, Brian, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, Brian. Where did Mason get the nickname Moose?
I got to give credit to the coaching staff. When he was younger, he was tall and skinny, and they said he ran like a moose in practice, so that's what we're going to go with.
So is it a nickname that he likes?
Yeah, well, that's why he wears number 84. He said he's Randy Moose.
That's funny.
Randy
That's great.
Moose.
Now, you said that the flu was going through the school up there, and Brian, you even said that there's some parents back in the hotel that are sick. The kids are sick, but they're only down 2 points to Dietrich. Now, did you see anything in the first half that maybe was because they were sick or anything like that?
No, Dietrich looks really good. We got to get our feet underneath of ourselves. We're not quite playing like normal, but yeah, there's a few people that are sick, but I'm not going to say that's an excuse.
Well, guys, the mystery is solved. I'm going to kick it back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, Paul. So how about that? You know, you figure you hear Moose and you think of this big blockhead type guy, you know, big and strong as a moose. Not tall and lanky like a moose, but.
Well, especially when the coaches are like, well, we just call him Moose, you know, and not really sure why. And so all of a sudden, the inquisitive brains up here in the booth thought, you know what, we have got to do it. And Paul's all jacked up on NyQuil anyway, so he's like, I'll do it. So he takes the mic and heads down there, and I'll be danged, kind of finds the answer in the crowd, finds the parents, and we get right to the bottom of it.
That's the kind of stuff you're only going to find on IdahoSports.com. You're not getting that anywhere else, I guarantee it. You know, also before the game tonight, Scott, you were down on the field. You had a chance to talk to both head coaches ahead of the matchup, and even though it was pregame, I think the things they said would still apply to the second half as well.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be interesting to listen to this, to see kind of how much of what they said held true in that first half. So let's take a listen to what both coaches had to say prior to the game.
Yeah, we'll hear from Kendrick head coach Zane Hobart up first.
Field pregame with Kendrick Tigers head coach Zane Hobart. And Coach Hobart, here we are. This is it. This is what you kids have been waiting for. Last year, you guys kind of flew under the radar a little bit. This year, not so much. You haven't lost in a long time, and so you have spent the entire season really with a target on your back, everybody giving your best shot. How are your kids been able to hold up under all of that pressure, knowing everybody's coming after you?
We don't talk about the pressure. I don't think there's pressure affiliated with that. It's still the same game of football. It's still got to block. You still got to tackle. So we don't really focus on that. We just focus on the fundamental part of the game.
Now, you guys went through something that was really kind of interesting. Almost a month without playing a full game, you know? I mean, 3 weeks in a row. You had some Washington opponents that ended midway through each game. And what did that do to your team, and what kind of adjustments did you have to make? Because that was a long stretch of games.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird string of events. Obviously, you don't get that. But those are kind of the uncontrollables, too. We talked to the kids about controlling the controllables, and, you can't do anything about it. You just move on to the next week and keep playing.
Well, now you're going up tonight against a Dietrich team that's got plenty of weapons of their own. What are the keys to victory if Kendrick is to bring home a trophy tonight?
I think you got to take away Cody Power the best you can. Obviously, an athlete like that, you're not going to completely take him away. He's going to get his tonight. He's going to have his plays. But we got to try to take away his legs and make him throw the ball a little more.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck and congratulations on a great season so far. That is Coach Zane Hobart, Kendrick Tigers. Back up to you guys.
So once again, that was Kendrick head coach Zane Hobart talking to Scott pregame tonight. And interesting thoughts. They're a team that the pressure doesn't really get to them. They don't view themselves as the 800-pound gorilla. Everybody else does, but they don't really think of it that way.
They don't, and it's just really an interesting season for Kendrick. I mean, you talked a little bit about the road to get here, how they've kind of been overshadowed. Kerry's been kind of the big dog, and all of a sudden Kendrick is next man up as far as that goes. But this season has been very peculiar for Kendrick. They're blowing people out at, just ridiculous pace. We talked earlier about a 104-0 game they had, that long stretch of shutouts, but that stretch where they just played 6 quarters in a month or whatever it was, those things don't happen to a team. And so this has been a really interesting year for Kendrick.
Definitely. And so also he said we got to contain Cody Power. I'd say that's an incomplete grade at this point. Power had a pretty good first half. We'll take a look at the first half stats in just a moment. But first, you had a chance to talk to Rick Estelle, the head coach from Dietrich as well. Here's what he had to say pregame tonight.
Hey, guys, down on the field with Dietrich Blue Devils coach Rick Hassel. And, glad to see you're feeling better, Coach. It's been a really successful season for you, but it's also had its set of challenges. And you guys are playing in probably the most competitive conference in 8-man football. How does that prepare your kids for a moment like tonight?
It's good for us because, this year our schedule, it wasn't real strong to start with, but these big games, that's a huge help because you don't learn a lot with non-competitive games, and we got to flat get after to play teams like this, and this is a good team we're playing today.
You guys have got your own set of athletes that are really explosive as well, and a lot of times you see teams with this many weapons not get the ball enough, but you guys have been able to accommodate people like Cody Power, Peyton Snedden, Connor Perkins, etc., and get them touches throughout the game to prove that you guys have got many weapons. How do you do that with so many weapons on your offensive side?
We've got a team, I'll tell you what, is one of the most coachable teams I've ever coached, and they understand they all have the same goal. They want to be state champions, and they understand we got certain roles and so many touches here and there, and you're right, we're athletic, and they are willing to share the minutes.
And last thing, let's talk about tonight. You've got a team across the way that has really been dominant as of late, and they've been going the whole season with a target on their back. What are the keys for Dietrich to come home with a state championship tonight?
We got to be able to run our offense. We got a pretty explosive offense, but they got a defense that's unreal, and we got to see if we can move the ball. Another key, we have got to take care of the line of scrimmage. They're a good size, but we're used to playing bigger teams. I'll take my quickness over the big guys, but we have got to get it done, and they understand that. You understand, we started out this season, we were picked third to finish in our conference, and we just got done talking about we'll overcome anything. It's a battle every week. That doesn't bother us one bit.
That is Coach Rick Hassel down here, head coach Dietrich Blue Devils, moments away from a state championship date with the Kendrick Tigers. Thanks, Coach. Much luck tonight, and back to you guys.
All right, so once again, that was Dietrich head coach Rick Estelle before the game tonight talking to you, Scott. A lot of good info in there, and especially how he said this is the most complete team he's had in his 7 years as head coach at Dietrich.
Yeah, well, the thing about Dietrich and Coach Estelle is this Dietrich team's battle-tested. They have run the gauntlet through that Sawtooth Conference, which is arguably the best conference in 8-man football. I mean, you're playing teams, Dietrich, you look up and down their schedule, they're playing teams like Castleford, Camas County. They are getting their work in, and this is a team that's used to close games. They're a team that's used to playing bigger lineups. One thing he did say in the interview is like, we don't get anything out of playing all weaker opponents and having cakewalks and stuff like that, which is the exact opposite of what Kendrick has done.
Well, and that's not by
choice. Not by choice. That's not what Kendrick. It's not by choice by Kendrick, and that's no fault of theirs.
Right.
That's just the way their schedule worked out.
Right.
And so they're coming from two different places right now. One has battle-tested a lot of close games or a lot closer games, and the other one has just kind of rolled through everybody. And at the end of the day, you kind of let the dust settle. They're pretty equal teams.
Yeah, Kendrick had the season opener against Notice in the 8-man classic, who got to the playoffs. And then, of course, they had that epic battle with Oakley. That was probably the 8-man game of the year.
No kidding.
But then after that, it was kind of not too many potholes in the road. Kind of an easy time for sure. Let's take a look at the first half stats here real quick. You talked about how even this was. Let's start with Dietrich. 161 yards rushing, 52 yards passing for 213 yards of total offense. For Kendrick, 164 yards rushing, 70 yards passing, 234 yards of offense. So Kendrick outgaining Dietrich 234 to 213, but on the ground, almost dead even. 161 for Dietrich, 164 for Kendrick.
Yeah, it's about as even as we thought it would be. I mean, if the numbers were going to be high, they were both going to be high. Yeah. If they're going to be low, they're both going to be low. These two teams are going to mirror each other throughout this game.
Individually in the first half for Dietrich, leading the way on the ground is Cody Power, 9 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peyton Sneddon has 5 carries for 35 yards and a score. It is Hayden Estelle, 6 carries for 14 yards. Connor Perkins has 2 carries for -6. Power in the first half, 4 of 10 for 52 yards and that interception right before halftime. Leading receiver tonight is Case Robertson, 2 catches for 21 yards. Connor Perkins, 1 catch for 17 yards. Peyton Sneddon, 1 catch for 14 yards. And now for Kendrick, Ty Kep leading the way on the ground. 7 carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. Sawyer Hewitt right behind him. 2 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. 65 of those came on that first touchdown 25 seconds into the game. And then it is Wyatt Fitzmaurice, 4 carries for 12 yards. Kep in the first half, 7 of 16 for 70 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver, Jagger Hewitt, 5 catches, 41 yards and a score. It's Sawyer Hewitt, 1 catch for 15 yards. And then Taylor, 1 catch for 14 yards.
Yeah, both of these quarterbacks doing a great job on the ground. Neither one of them overly productive through the air, but they're both running threats, and they're both good athletes.
Before our second half kickoff, let's check in one more time with Paul Kingsbury down on the sideline. He got a lot of good Kendrick info there.
Thanks, guys. The last 1A Division II team that Kendrick lost to was Cary back in the 2020 semifinals at the Kibbe Dome, lost 40-14. Guess who the last 1A D2 team that Dietrich lost to? Yeah, that's right, Cary. Last year in the semifinals, they lost 54-20.
And everybody's saying they're Oakley's problem now. That's pretty good stuff there from Paul down on the sideline. So here we go. Start of the third quarter. Kendrick will have to kick off, down 2. Dietrich will be working left to right here in our third quarter of action. And again, neither side has kicked deep tonight. We'll see what Kendrick decides to do here.
And those squibs have been problems. And there's another.
Through the front line, but bottled up at the 41-yard line by Dietrich. That is Hudson Lucero falling on top of it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 41-yard line.
Dietrich with the first possession here of the second half, leading it 22-20 in a game that I want to say they dominated, but they led most of the way. They had the quick strike by Kendrick, but after that, it was Dietrich who grabbed the lead and never relinquished it. And Kendrick had a chance to tie it on a 2-point conversion late in that first half, couldn't get it done, and Dietrich has held on to that lead ever since.
In 8-man football, sometimes it comes down to those 2-point conversions.
Mm-hmm.
Which team can cash in on those more? You miss too many of them, you could lose an entire touchdown. 1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 41, working left to right. Cody Power sprinting off to the right side, gets a great block from Robertson, and that allows him to get a yard. Otherwise, Power's looking at a loss of 4. So Robertson got the block on the perimeter, and Power gets a yard.
Yeah, good pursuit by the Kendrick defense. as they did another nice job of stringing Power out to the sideline and not allowing him to turn up field. Leading the way for Kendrick was number 36, Carson Hogan, the sophomore.
We talked about Power, and there's a lot of dual threat QBs across the 8-man landscape. I don't know if there's any as electrifying as Cody Power. Over 1,000 yards rushing and passing this year. That's hard enough to do one or the other, but both? Pretty impressive.
It tells you how much of the offense rolls through Cody Power and his ability to, be involved and stay healthy.
2nd and 9, toss play left side, Peyton Sneddon, spin move, got a yard, and that's it. So back-to-back 1-yard runs by by Dietrich will make it 3rd and 8 now for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, a little bit of a quicker first step for the Kendrick defense as they are flying to the football here on this opening possession.
We were talking about Power and the dual threat abilities he brings. Ty Kep can run the ball. We saw it on that 38-yard touchdown run before halftime, but he also threw for just under 2,000 yards for the season, 1,902 yards, and that was without him really playing an entire game. Kendrick was up so big, a lot that the starters sat for most of the second half. I think one of the few games that Kendrick actually played all the way through was that Oakley game.
It's an interesting point. Stats are skewed when you have games like that.
Yes, for sure, and yet Ty Kep still nearly 2,000 yards. 3rd and 8, option play right side. Power will keep. We'll take it out to the 49-yard line. Brought down from behind on the play. We'll bring up a 4th and 2 here for Dietrich.
Yeah, good tackle by Moose Kimberling. Timely tackle right there, and that saved a first down. It'll force Dietrich into a 4th down situation. Opening moments here, 3rd quarter. 22-20, Blue Devils.
9:50 to play here in the 3rd. A 22-20 lead for Dietrich, facing a key 4th and 2 here right in midfield, their own 49-yard line. They've spread it out 4 wide, and this is what they like to do, and then they let Power kind of do his thing. But Kendrick's got 3 defensive linemen to counter, and now a penalty flag comes out. Delay of game on Dietrich. Can't have that. That can't happen.
No, not at all. That changes the dynamic of this down. 4th and 2, you can probably pick up. Oh, they're waving it off now.
Oh, they're going to say they got the timeout.
Yeah, so Dietrich called timeout before the play clock expired, and that will keep it 4th and 2, and we'll keep it here.
Yeah, while we got a moment, we'll tell you that if you're an Idaho homeowner and have fallen behind on your mortgage because of the COVID-19 pandemic, help is available. The Idaho Homeowner Assistance Fund can help get you back on track. Check your eligibility and apply today at idahohousing.com/HAF or call 888-921-2166. Tonight's game is also brought to you in part tonight by Extreme Excavation in Shoshone. They offer all kinds of services for public works and private construction needs, from demolition and grading to underground utilities and complex septic systems. Extreme Excavation has a trusted reputation for meeting and completing tough and unique projects. They offer free estimates within a 100-mile radius. Get yours by calling 208-544-ROCK or go to extremeexcavationinc.com. Boy, 100 miles within Shoshone, that'll get you a lot of places.
That's a lot of unexplored territory out in that area too.
The Magic Valley.
That's right.
It is 4th down and 2 for Dietrich out of the timeout. Blue Devils will line up 2 wide to either side. 4th and 2 from their own 49. High snap. Power gets it down. Will throw at the last moment. It's caught at the 45-yard line by Case Robertson. Kind of the old Tim Tebow at the last moment jump pass. And he does complete it. I don't know how he stayed behind the line of scrimmage, but he did, and it's a gain of 6.
Well, you know what Kendrick did on that play is every time that Dietrich has lined up in that formation, it really does expose the middle because they take everybody and spread them out. This time, they walked up the safety to put 4 guys on the line against Dietrich's 3 offensive linemen because they were just going to come after Power, and they did. But right at the last second, like you said, that little jump pass for the first down.
And Robertson came back, too, to where, like, Power and Robertson were like a yard apart from each other, so it was just a little toss there, and nice job by Robertson to get the first down. Gain of 7. 1st and 10 for Dietrich now from the Kendrick 44. Man in motion left to right is Sneddon, and he'll be flagged.
Yeah, they're going to have a false start, I believe, on the line.
And this happened about, I'm exaggerating here, but this happened about 20 times last night for Firth in that 2A championship game.
Oh, my word. Yeah, Firth was ended up, when all was said and done, it was 4th down and 40.
Yeah.
Last night for Firth to end the game.
And part of that was a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Firth coaching staff because they had enough. And but, yeah, they do that a lot, Firth, where they bring that slot guy in motion, and they got flagged for that like 7 or 8 different times. And it's like, how can that be? You've been doing it all year, so what's not
Yeah, something's not clicking, exactly.
1st and 15 now for Dietrich. Ball back at the Kendrick 49. Again, high snap. Power's got to jump up to get it. Pitch out left side to Estelle, and he's blown up in the backfield. 3 different Tigers in there. The one who finished it off, though, was Nate Twite, the freshman.
Yeah, and Lane Klebenhagen was the first guy there, and then Twite came in and closed the deal. But good pursuit again by Kendrick defensively. Now, this is what Kendrick has done all season long, is they've made opposing offenses earn their yards. In that first half, I mean, Dietrich, they did work the ball up and down the field quite a bit. Put 22 on the board, and now in this opening possession, this Kendrick defense looks a lot like the Kendrick defense that has been here all season long.
We'll see what kind of halftime adjustments. 2 great coaches. Coach Estelle for Dietrich, Coach Hobart for Kendrick. It is 2nd and 19 for Dietrich now from their own 47. Power back to pass, has time. Kendrick only rushed 2, floats at the last moment. Man is wide open at the 45 and the 40, and a big hit delivered to the 39-yard line. Robertson hung on, though. It'll be 3rd and manageable now, and that was Klemenhagen, the hammer.
Oh, my goodness. Klemenhagen just came in and delivered a shot, but Dietrich able to hold on to the football and put themselves into 3rd down and manageable. Line of scrimmage, the 39 of Kendrick now.
14 yards from Power to Robertson, and that's now the 5th reception of the night for Case Robertson.
Well, in that particular possession, Kendrick decided to play coverage defense, only rushed 2 that time, and forced Power to make a decision. And once he got out of the pocket, the defense closed in on him, and that's where Power had to make that little quick decision and the quick pass.
3 down linemen for Kendrick now on 3rd and 5.
More whistles.
Flag comes out.
And a delay.
Oh, my gosh. Delay a game against Dietrich with 6:41 to play in the 3rd. And now you're looking at 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 5. And this has been, they got the one with the timeout, but that's been the 3rd delay of game call against Dietrich tonight. Receiver to either side, tight end to either side. Power alone out of the shotgun, snetted in motion right to left. Power will take the snap, looking left, throwing deep for Robertson, broken up. Good coverage by Jagger Hewitt on the far sideline to break it up, 4th down.
Yeah, that was great defense by Hewitt as Dietrich tried to slip 2 receivers into that left side of the field, one at the 40, one at the 35, and make Hewitt choose. But Hewitt wouldn't commit. And so when it looked like he was going to take the near receiver, he dropped back on the deeper route and was able to knock it away. Good play.
Brings up a 4th and 10 for the Blue Devils with the ball at the Kendrick 44. You're going to go for it here because a turnover on downs is versus a punt, not a ton of difference there. So 4th and 10, high snap again. Power gets it down, drops back to pass, going deep over the middle, has a man through the fingertips at the 15-yard line. Incomplete pass, turnover on downs, and a receiver slow to get up. Power sailed it just
Yeah, Estelle was coming across the middle. Power had all kinds of time, but I think what happened is Estelle broke off his route a little bit too soon. Instead of drifting more to the middle of the field, he stopped, and the ball sailed a little bit high on him. And it was going to be a tough catch, one he should have made, but I think if he would have stayed on his route a little bit longer, he would have made the catch a little bit easier. But they attend to Estelle at about the 15, 16-yard line, and, we hope he's all right.
Yeah, while they attend to Estelle, we'll tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Kendrick Dental and Dr. Fisher. They're proud to support the Kendrick Tigers. At Kendrick Dental, their mission is simple: to be the best dental experience you have ever had. From your first phone call to creating your most healthy and happy smile, Kendrick Dental strives to exceed expectations and be the area's most trusted dental team. Dr. Fisher has over 14 years of experience and is now accepting new patients, so come experience world-class dental care right in Kendrick. Visit kendrickdental.net to learn more. Go Tigers. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Ken and Val Windermere Real Estate. Looking for your next new home, farm, ranch, investment, or commercial property? If so, be sure to look no further than Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate for help. With over 22 years of experience in north central Idaho, they're licensed in both Washington and Idaho to help make your dreams a reality, wherever they may be. 2 great agents to serve you with one mission to help you with all of your real estate needs. The choice is easy when it comes to real estate in the LC Valley and surrounding areas. Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate. The Hobarts are proud to support Kendrick Athletics and want to wish the Tigers good luck tonight. So Estelle is able to walk off the field under his own power, it looked like there, Scott.
Yeah, I'm not sure he didn't get the wind knocked out of him. He seems fine walking off the field.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Kendrick following the turnover on downs, and they will start with Ty Kep keeping it right up the middle, across the 45, out to his own 48-yard line, a gain of 4.
Yeah, 6 minutes and change to go here in the third. 22-20 was our halftime score. It remains our score midway through the third quarter.
And we thought this was going to be a big, shoot 'em out type game, and both offenses have really dominated the time of possession. It's really turned into kind of a low possession game.
Well, and it's evidenced by the delay of game penalties. Offenses are taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 6. Kept back to pass, throwing off his back foot over the middle and threw it short. Trying to go to Clemenhagen over the middle, but Dietrich brought the rush that time. Looked like Brody Torgerson got in there into the backfield, and so Kep had to backpedal and throw it off his back foot incomplete.
Yeah, Dietrich came on the blitz that time, and the receivers for Kendrick weren't reading the hot route, and Kep had no choice but to throw it away.
Makes it 3rd and 6 now for the Tigers from their own 48. Kendrick working right to left here in this third quarter of action. 5:40 to play in the period. 2 receivers either side, tight end to the left, tailback on the left hip of Kep out of the shotgun. False start.
Well, it's going to be one of those. Yeah, it's going to call it a false start because both the offensive player and the defensive player jumped at the same time, and they're going to get the offense for a false start.
Yeah, they had Sawyer Hewitt lined up as the tight end that time, and he shuffled the feet. So now it's 3rd and 11 for Kendrick from their own 43.
Penalties are going to happen. It's the timely penalties are the ones that get you, that change down in distance. First a 5-yard penalty on first down makes it 1st and 15. Okay, you can manage that. Well, it's 3rd and 6. Now it's 3rd and 11. That's a big one.
3rd and 11. Kept back to pass, setting up the middle screen. It's caught at the 40, the 45, the 50. Gets an outside block. The 40, the 30. Down the near sideline. Sawyer Hewitt will take it the distance all the way into the end zone for a 57-yard Kendrick touchdown.
Perfect play call for the situation. Dietrich came on the blitz. They had the screen set up on the left side, and there was all kinds of daylight. And Kendrick has taken the lead, their first lead since the first quarter.
Back when it was 8-0 on another big play, a 65-yard touchdown run by Sawyer Hewitt gave Kendrick the lead. And now a 57-yard touchdown reception by Sawyer Hewitt allows Kendrick to retake the lead. I'd say that puts you right in prime conversation for our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Kendrick will line up and go for 2. Kep with a man in motion, low snap, picks it up, penalty flag comes out. Kep runs it in, but we'll see what the call is here. For the moment, still 26-22, and it is the illegal shift against Kendrick. So they'll move it back and attempt the 2-point conversion again, this time from the 7-yard line. So Kendrick now will attempt the 2-point try from the 7, and this is off of a 57-yard touchdown pass from Ty Kep to Sawyer Hewitt. Really, Kep's pass traveled about 7 yards, and then
yeah, I know, right?
Hewitt took the other 50 on the middle screen.
That is a quarterback's best friend.
Yeah, that helps the numbers for sure.
Yeah, I had 500 yards passing.
Yeah.
The ball only traveled 33 yards all night.
So 2-point try for Kendrick from the 7 now following the penalty. Kep slant route low and caught, but brought down at the 1-yard line. Jagger Hewitt. So the 2-point try no good. Good tackle by Sned in there for Dietrich.
Even though the 2-point try was no good, that was a heck of a catch by Hewitt right off the shoelaces. But at the 5:28 mark here in the third, it's Kendrick back on top, 26-22.
Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by George F. Brocky & Sons. They're a fourth-generation family business that has been pricing quality peas, lentils, garbanzo beans, Austrian winter peas, and rapeseed for over 65 years to north central Idaho and southeastern Washington. These products are cleaned and then shipped under the top-notch and sun-dried brands to nearly every continent on Earth. Probably Antarctica is the lone exception there, I would gather. Our worldwide customers have come to expect quality products in every shipment. At George F. Brocky & Sons, they build relationships with their loyal customers to help maximize yields and ensure quality. Stop by the facility in Kendrick and say hello. And as always, go Tigers from George F. Brocky & Sons. And tonight's game brought to you in part by Furry Tail Mercantile, your place for anything old, new, and everything in between, right on Main Street in Kendrick, and proud to support the Tigers. Good luck from Furry Tail Mercantile. We're going to have to take a road trip up to Kendrick, Scotty.
Yes, we are. Furry Tail Mercantile is going to be my very first stop.
Yeah. Here we go. Kendrick will line up to kick off here, leading 26-22 with 5:28 to play here in the third. Dietrich's got everybody up close here to guard against the squib kick. It's another squibber. It is caught at the 50-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich. Let's go to Paul Kingsbury down on the sidelines. He's got some info for us about these kickoffs we've seen. Go ahead, Paul.
So, guys, I was talking to our very own Ryan Skaggs, one of our broadcasters up north. He did Kendrick's game up in Lewiston last week, he and Brandon Fury. And he said, in the words of Zane Hobart last week, those aren't squib kicks. We just suck at kicking. All right, back to you.
Hey, thanks a lot there, Paul.
And they give ACE awards and stuff like that for that kind of reporting. Isn't that right? I'm sure it's the ACE award, but it's something.
You know, if Andrew Cuomo can win a daytime Emmy for his COVID-19 press conferences, then, you know, Paul Kingsbury should be able to win something.
Oh, my gosh, you open a Pandora's box. I got something to say. No, I don't.
1st and 10, ball right at the 50-yard line. A big run up the middle for Dietrich on first down. It's a gain of 9. First contact was made at the 45, and then Sneddon lowered the shoulder and got 4 more.
Well, that was almost like Dietrich said, you know what, on that last possession, we just got out physicaled by Kendrick. Let's come out and let's show our physicality a little bit as they exploded off the line of scrimmage with a little bit of a purpose that time and a gain of 9.
Makes it 2nd down and 1. Equipment malfunction here for Kendrick as Wyatt Fitzmaurice will have to run off. And coming in his place is Xavier Carpenter, the sophomore. So 2nd and 1 for Dietrich. 5:01 to play in the third. 26-22 lead for Kendrick here in the 1A D2 state championship game. Power under center, split backs behind him. Will turn and give right side. This is Estelle. Breaks a tackle to the 30. Still going to the 25, and finally it takes 3 different Tiger defenders to bring down Hayden Estelle at the 22-yard line. That is a gain of 19 and a first down.
Yeah, good run by Estelle, especially the yards after contact, as Estelle, after being hurt in the previous possession, is back at it again, obviously unfazed and ready to rock and roll. First down for Dietrich.
Estelle's had 2 carries this second half, -4 and then 19. They will give to Estelle again, this time off right guard inside the 20, down to the 17, a gain of 5.
Now Tristan Jones just jumped right on the back of Estelle, and Estelle just took him for a ride about 3 or 4 more yards before being bulldogged to the ground.
4:15 to play here in the third. 26-22 lead for Kendrick, but Dietrich on the move again. 2nd and 5 for the Devils. Ball at the Kendrick 17-yard line, and Dietrich working left to right here in our third quarter of action. And again, Blue Devils taking their time, breaking the huddle, getting to the line. They've been flagged several times tonight for delay of game. They are cutting it close. They just get it off. It's a bootleg. Back to pass. Floats it to the end zone. It's picked right at the goal line. Jagger Hewitt on the return. Out to the 20. And an interception return to the 22-yard line. Jagger Hewitt. Power floated the pass. Hewitt was there to pick it off.
That's exactly right. He floated the pass on a seam route down that left hash, but coming in from the far left was Hewitt, who really had his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, slid over and picked it off right at the goal line. That is the 2nd turnover for Dietrich in the red zone tonight. And if you go back and Dietrich loses this game closely, you're going to look at those two possessions. One, a fumble at the 20, the other one, an interception at the goal line.
And really right before halftime as well, Power threw that interception down at the goal line. So really 3 turnovers right as they were looking to score. Now it's Kemp with a bobbled snap. It was low on the ground. Kemp gets brought down back at the 15-yard line by Lucero. And also in there was Connor Perkins. So that is a loss of 6 to make it 2nd and 16.
You know, well, for Dietrich, you know, they've got Kendrick pinned back just a little bit here. 2nd down and long from the 16-yard line. Don't let him out. You'll be fine. You'll get the field position, swing back, and then you maybe atone for the turnover. But Kendrick, you know, a loss on 1st down is not really where they want to be.
Yeah, that snap was on the ground the entire way back. 2nd and 16 from their own 16. Out route caught at the 22-yard line. On the reception is Jagger Hewitt, and Cody Power is there immediately for the tackle.
Yeah, nice closing speed by Power to make the tackle on a crossing route that could have been a big play because, like a lot of times, one tackle and we're going to the house. But Power made a good play in open space. 2:30 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Clock continues to run. And it's 3rd down and long now for Kendrick. And this is where Kendrick is starting to find themselves a little bit more. And if they can get out of this 3rd and long, they're sustaining a lot more drives, but they're putting themselves behind the 8 ball. This one because of a bad snap.
3rd and 10 for Kendrick from their own 22. Middle screen. This is where they scored the touchdown last time. Across the middle of the 30 and brought down at the 36-yard line. Enough for the 1st down. It's a gain of 14. Wyatt Fitzmaurice on the reception on the middle screen.
Almost identical on the play that they just took to the house. Dietrich comes with a blitz. Kendrick comes with a screen. And, man, there is nobody home. And Kendrick gets out of the shadows of their own goalpost. And now they've got a fresh set of downs out across the 35 to the 37.
And Sawyer Hewitt's going, hey, I took my middle screen 57 yards for a house call, Wyatt Fitzmaurice. You could only get 14 yards.
That's exactly right.
1st and 10 for Kendrick now from their own 37. 2:10 to play in the 3rd. Kep, pump fakes, throws to the far side, caught at the 40-yard line and tackled immediately. That is Jagger Hewitt on the reception for a gain of 4.
Yeah, Snedden making the tackle on the play, but a gain of 4 out across the 40 to the 41. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd, and this is only the 2nd possession for Kendrick in this half.
You feel like this is an important one both ways. If Kendrick scores here, they go up 2 scores. Dietrich falls behind 2 scores with only a quarter to play. This is a monumental drive here for Kendrick. 2nd and 6 for the Tigers from their own 41. QB keeper for Kep, breaking to the outside, the 45, the 50, and out of bounds around the 46-yard line of Dietrich. That is enough to move the sticks for a 1st down.
Yeah, almost like a little read option, if you will, in 8-man football if they have those. And great read by Kep as everybody went with the running back. And Kep just went back up against the grain on the right side, found a big hole, and moves it into Dietrich territory down to the 46. And you're right, this is a big, big possession because, you know, this game has been led by Dietrich most of the way until just recently when Kendrick took the lead. And now they're going to have an opportunity to keep this drive alive, perhaps move it into the 4th quarter and extend to a 2-score lead.
Gain of 13 on that run for Kep makes it 1st and 10 from the 46 of Dietrich. Screen pass right side, reception made, Jagger Hewitt. And Hewitt will take it out to the 41-yard line, gain of 5.
Good tackle by Perkins to save what could have been a huge gain. But again, Kendrick just kind of moving the ball down the field. You know, aside from a couple of big plays here and there, we've seen a lot of time-consuming drives, which has really limited the possessions for both of these teams. I mean, you know, and I'm a possession guy. I mean, I'm a numbers guy. I'm a stats guy. And I'm looking at this going, okay, the possessions have really been limited as the game has gone on. So they're going to be fewer down the road.
Scott Burton, number cruncher. I never knew. You've got your pencil sharpener and everything.
My matching pocket protector. And
yeah. Kep will keep it this time and will get nothing. Maybe a half a yard, but that's it. Now they're going to put it right back to the line of scrimmage. So Dietrich, good job to bottle him up that time. Lucero on the tackle makes it 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. 25 seconds to play in the 3rd. Kendrick, I don't think, has to run a play if they don't want to.
No, they don't. I'm not sure they're going to. They're going to move this thing into the 4th quarter. with a 4-point lead. And now as we move into the final frame, this is where a lot of possessions become crucial. Just because you're limited. I mean, you look at that third quarter when everything slowed down. Dietrich got 2 possessions. This is only the second one for Kendrick. And so if you're looking at the way that this game has shaped up, each team is going to have maybe 3 possessions. What are you going to do with them?
We'll find out here in a matter of moments through 3. It is Kendrick 26, Dietrich 22. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by Bazzuto's Furniture and Appliance. They're a locally owned appliance, furniture, and mattress shop proudly serving the Magic and Wood River Valleys since 1961. They made a commitment years ago to have the most knowledgeable professionals assist you with your purchase, and their team is friendly and willing to take the time to discuss the details of what you need for your home. They will work with you to find a product that fits your needs, budget, and lifestyle. Bazzuto's Furniture in Shoshone is proud to support the Dietrich Blue Devils. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Heartland Ag. They are application at Heartland Ag. Application is what they do, from case and RBR application equipment, tanks, trailers, and all your spraying and spreading needs. Located in Burley, give them a call at 800-994-9120 or find them online at heartlandag.com. And Phil's Family Foods on Main Street in Kendrick, a proud supporter of Kendrick Athletics, wants to wish the Tigers good luck in the state championship game. So here we go, start of the fourth quarter. We flip the field. Kendrick now working left to right for our final quarter. Up by 4, 26-22, facing a 3rd and 6 from the Dietrich 42. Screen pass, right side, caught. This is Sawyer Hewitt taking it inside the 10, inside the 5, and into the end zone for a 42-yard touchdown.
And Jagger Hewitt got the kick-out block that sprung the touchdown. A big play. And the Tigers on top by 10. 2-point conversion yet to come.
11:52 to play in the fourth, and we talked about Kendrick now gets that breathing room. They're up 10, 32-22, and it comes on a 42-yard touchdown pass from Ty Kep to Jagger Hewitt. And Jagger said, you know, I was tired of Sawyer scoring all the touchdowns. I want to get in on some of this action. And
yeah, I mean, you look at the scoring log for Kendrick, it's 2 names, Kep and Hewitt.
That's right. So the 42-yard strike. Now they'll line up and go for 2. Kep throws the out route. It is caught. Textbook to Jagger Hewitt. He catches the touchdown. He catches the 2-point conversion. And it's Kendrick with a 12-point lead now, 34-22 with 11:52 to play. Just 8 seconds into our fourth quarter of action.
Well, this is the first time tonight that we have been playing a game where it's been a 2-score difference, you know, and it's in the fourth quarter. Naturally, in the fourth quarter, you tighten up. But now, if you're Dietrich, you've really got to show some resolve here, because this is a game that you kind of controlled for the most part. A couple of quick strikes by Kendrick, and now you're down 2 scores moving into the fourth quarter.
Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com brought to you in part by Shaw Land and Livestock. They've been family owned and operated since 1971. Owner Hubert Shaw and the rest of the gang at Shaw L&L and Mercantile proudly supports Dietrich High School athletics. They'd like to wish the Dietrich boys good luck tonight. And Donley Farms is a proud supporter of Dietrich athletics. They want to wish the Dietrich boys good luck in the championship. And Nathan's Cafe and Spirits is proud to support the Kendrick Tigers. Come visit them on Main Street. A true small-town cafe with great food and even better people. Go Tigers from Nathan's Cafe and Spirits.
All right. 11:52 to go, fourth quarter. And you can't help but think, Brandon, this is a huge drive and possession for Dietrich right now.
A must score. It's a must score possession to try and keep pace with Kendrick here with 11:52 to go. Kendrick, squib kick, will take a bounce to the middle of the field, will be picked up at the 25-yard line. Out on the return to the 30 and out to the 34-yard line. One of the up men for the Blue Devils. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich. He's a little slow to get up and now pops back up. That was Power on the kick return. So Power normally is the deep guy, and Dietrich has kind of snuck him up to the middle of the line, so he still has a chance to return those kicks.
Yeah, and even on those, if you get it, those squib fielded cleanly, you never know. I mean, you break through that first wall, there's not a second wall. But both special teams units tonight have done a very good job with that.
1st and 10 for Dietrich, working right to left in our fourth quarter from their own 34. Handoff, first down, Hayden Estelle into the secondary. Across the 40, still going. Will be out to the 45-yard line. 11 hard-fought yards and a first down.
Yeah, there were 4 or 5 Kendrick Tigers all over Estelle who refused to go down. Tough run. And, it was one of those plays where defensively Kendrick stood him up, and 2 or 3 of those guys were trying to rip that ball away from Estelle, and Estelle held on to it. Great run by Estelle.
10th carry of the night for Estelle, and he usually gets between 5 and 6 per game. So Estelle is a guy that's showing, keep feeding me.
Yeah.
He's been doing great for Dietrich. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 45. We're down to 11:15 to play. Handoff right side this time, nowhere to go.
Boy, that was Clemenhagen that just shot through that offensive line and made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, loss of a yard.
Yeah, Sneddon on the carry that time. Left side, lost a yard. Makes it 2nd and 11 now for Dietrich from their own 44 with 10:50 to play. And again, Dietrich's been pretty deliberate on offense tonight, but now down to 10:45 to play. Might have to speed it up just a tick.
Yeah, especially to see how this drive goes. Knowing you've got to get at least another possession.
Under center. Bootleg, Power rolling out right side, throws on the run behind the receiver and caught at the 45-yard line and then driven into the turf right away is Peyton Sneddon.
Now that was just great coverage by Kendrick. Dietrich rolled to the right, sent 2 receivers out into the formation, one about 15 yards down the field, the other one a check under at about 5 yards, but Kendrick had both of them covered. And as a result, Dietrich not able to advance the football very far on that pass play, which really they needed to get some yards because now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 now for Dietrich following the 3-yard gain to Sneddon. And that was Wyatt Fitzmaurice who came up with that huge tackle for Kendrick. So 3rd and 8 for the Blue Devils from their own 47, 9:45 to play, and Dietrich down 12. High snap, Powers got it. Flushed out, right side on the run. Now we'll just take off and run for what he can. He's going to be a yard shy of the first down. Took it out to the 46-yard line of Kendrick. He needed the 45.
Well, Power made a very nifty move right at midfield because he had a defender waiting for him in open space. And that would have put Power about 5 yards shy of the first down, but he was able to juke and fall forward. And now it's 4th and 1 instead of what it could have been at 4th and 5 thanks to the shiftiness of Power on that play.
Power jogs over to the sideline and gets the play, and now he'll go to the huddle and tell his teammates what's up here. 4th and 1 for Dietrich, 9 minutes to play. Dietrich down 12 on a must-score drive, facing a 4th and 1 at the Kendrick 46.
Just get the first down if you're Dietrich.
Power under center, split backs behind him. Will turn and hand off
boy.
right
Oh,
side.
boy.
Sneddon didn't get there. Sneddon gets met head on, and now it depends on the spot. Upon first blush, it looked like Sneddon didn't get enough.
Boy, it doesn't look like it.
And based upon the spot, they will say that's Kendrick football. And
Wow.
making the tackle, Sawyer Hewitt.
Wow. What a defensive play by Kendrick, and Big Mo has swung in favor of the Tigers.
That is Sawyer Hewitt with the huge 4th down stop of Peyton Sneddon. And like you said, just get the first down. They tried to run it to the outside, and that's 4th and 1. That's tough.
That is tough, and that's exactly right. I mean, that's where you just kind of get under center and just try to push forward, get the yard. It's not about scoring. It's about getting a fresh set of downs, and they weren't able to do it.
Now Kendrick wants to burn some clock with 8:49 to play, up 12. Ty Kep on first down, right side, tackled immediately by Pisano. Penalty flag comes out at the end of the play as well.
Yeah, Pisano got in there nicely and made the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. But, let's check the penalty now because every call is crucial. They're marching it back against Kendrick, and they call it personal foul. Whatever did happen, I don't know, but it was a personal foul against Kendrick.
Interesting.
And a break that maybe Dietrich needed because they have to have a stop here. They still need 2 possessions and 2 scores. So they cannot allow Kendrick to kill the clock here.
1st and 20 now for Kendrick from their own 35, 8:45 to play. It stopped the clock as well with the penalty. Kep again right up the middle and runs right into the line. And coming up with the stop that time, Hayden Estelle.
Yeah, a little help from Torgerson on that play as well. But you can see what the chess match is starting to become right now for Kendrick is we're not going to take any chances. We're not going to air the football out unless we absolutely have to. But right now, it's about clock. The clock is on our side as it continues to run. 8 minutes and change to go here in the fourth quarter. And Kendrick, even though they're facing second down and long, they still have 2 downs to take a good minute off the clock, which is huge.
8:05 to play. 2nd and 19 for Kendrick from their own 36. Toss play right side. This is Sawyer Hewitt, and Hewitt gets a yard, and that's it. It's Hudson Lucero and Torgerson and Estelle all comboing on the stop for Dietrich.
Yeah, now it's 3rd down and long, and for Dietrich, this is where you want him to be, but this is the place you've got to make the stop. You can bet that Kendrick's not going to throw the football unless it's a safe, short pass, because they don't want the clock to stop, because right now it is their friend. 7:30 to play. Clock is moving as Kendrick is facing 3rd down and about 17 from their own 38-yard line.
And if you're Kendrick here, you're okay with punting because your defense has been so bankable all year long. Coach Hobart trusts his defense. They'll let the clock run down, and Kendrick will spend a timeout here with 7:11 to go.
Yeah, and that's a smart play by Kendrick just because they need to make sure they do the right thing here. And on 3rd down, they just don't want to make a mistake. You think back to where Dietrich called a timeout early in that first half. They've only got 2, and they're going to need everything they can right now to stop the clock with 7:11 to go.
Yeah, that looms large. Dietrich had to burn a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty early on in this second half. So our game reset, 7:11 to play, 1A D2 state championship. Kendrick leads Dietrich by 12, 34-22. Kendrick facing a 3rd and 17 from their own 38. Each side has 2 timeouts remaining. This is one of 3 championship games going on tonight, Scott. The 4A championship between Bishop Kelly and Skyline will follow this one. And at halftime of the 5A championship game over at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Meridian leads Rigby 14-7 at the half.
Wow. Yeah, that was a game that everybody really wanted to see because those are 2 heavyweights right there.
Well, two heavyweights here as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 8-man ranks. 3rd and 17, Kemp back to pass, has time, going for the home run ball. The Hewitt overthrew him by 5 yards.
Wow.
Incomplete, stops the clock with 7:05 to play.
Now that surprises me a little bit too, because now you just saved Dietrich 35, 40 seconds on the clock in a game where they need to have the ball twice. And so the clock stops. Dietrich doesn't have to worry about a timeout. 7:05 to play. And Kendrick's going to have to punt it away.
And speaking of the 4A championship that's coming up between Bishop Kelly and Skyline, Dietrich and Skyline both have that powder blue. And on the side opposite of us at Holt Arena, I don't know where the Skyline fans start and the Dietrich fans end. It's just a blue blur over there. Punt is away. Line drive kick will go out of bounds on the near sideline around the 25-yard line.
And they mark it up to about the 30 is where it went out. So 6:59 on the clock. Dietrich will have the football. And they are down by 12, 34-22.
We've seen crazier things, especially in the 8-man game. But Dietrich has to score here. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 30. 6:59 to play. Blue Devils working right to left. 2 timeouts still in their back pocket. So Dietrich will break the huddle here. We'll send 2 receivers to the right side. Single receiver to the left. Power out of a shotgun formation here. Man in motion, left to right. Will take the snap, roll out. Power has room to run, has a block to the 30, the 35, and finally shoved out of bounds there. A 5-yard gain for Power on 1st down.
Okay, big play there for Dietrich because they got out of bounds, 6:50 on the clock. Again, I go right back to me looking at possessions. I look at numbers. I look at timeouts. All these things start to add up when you're a numbers guy in sports because, for Dietrich, they've got to maximize not just this possession. They've got to maximize the play because seconds are valuable right now. And the smart play by Power, get out of bounds. He could have turned it upfield and maybe gotten 2 or 3 more yards, settled for the 5-yard gain.
I think that message was hit home in the first half when Power didn't do that. 2nd and 5, QB draw. Power again will stretch out and get 2, and that's it. Great tackle from the backside that time from Kendrick. That was down. Let's see. Looked like maybe Clemenhagen who came up with the tackle.
Yeah, and that's that formation that we've seen Dietrich run quite a bit with 2 receivers on both sides and then a quarterback draw by Power up the middle. It worked a few times early on, but Kendrick has kind of wised up to it a little bit. Didn't allow Power to get very far, only a couple on the play. 3rd down, clock continues to run, 6:15 to go.
3rd and 3 for the Blue Devils from their own 37, down 12. 2 receivers, 1 to either side, and a false start.
Now it's 3rd and 8.
The guard on the left side of the formation, that's Pisano, ends up jumping offside.
Yeah, boy.
Or a false start, I guess. You don't go offside on offense, but false start.
You're doing soccer.
That's right. World Cup starts Sunday.
How about that, huh?
You got any tips, Scott? You know, Fox Sports is doing a thing where if you fill out a perfect bracket, you win $1 million.
Oh, my word.
You know any soccer? No, I don't know anything about.
I know very little. I just know that I get excited about soccer about once every 4 years.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, nothing against soccer. It just never raised in it.
3rd and 7 now for Dietrich. Netted in motion left to right. Power back to pass. Pump fakes once, now throws a backside screen. Caught at the 30, the 35. That is brought down at the 37-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and about 2 upcoming here for Dietrich. And on the reception, I believe, was Estelle coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, Dwight made the tackle for Kendrick. But it was one of those things to where if you're Dietrich, catch the ball, get upfield. Don't try to hesitate because that's when the defense is going to collapse on you. And I think you could have gotten a few more yards, a couple of more yards, and possibly a 1st down if you just lower the shoulders and you go. Don't try to dance around people.
I think Kendrick has proven that if you're racing one of their guys to the sideline, chances are, Kendrick's going to beat you there or at least tie you.
Well, here we go. 4th and 2. This is huge.
4th and 2 for Dietrich from their own 38. 5:20 to play. Perkins in motion left to right. Power back to pass. Rolling out right side.
He's got it if you wanted to run it.
And over the middle, throws incomplete at the 45-yard line. Turnover on downs, back to Kendrick.
Oh, boy. The window is closing quickly on Dietrich. That was a possession that Dietrich needed to have. The only consolation for the Blue Devils is it didn't take a ton of time off the clock because they basically went 3 and out.
Just 5:11 remaining now. 34-22, Kendrick leads, still at 12. You mentioned it, Power could have run if he wanted to. Decided to try and throw it over the middle. Threw it short. Turnover on downs. The window's shut, but it's not latched yet.
It's not.
They can still make a comeback here, but they've got to get some stops defensively. Kep will go right up the middle on 1st down, across the 35 to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 5.
Yeah, this is where Dietrich really needs to get a turnover. They need to start punching away at that football as it comes through the line because they're going to need a break.
And after that early fumble by Kendrick in the first half, they've been pretty ball secure since then.
Yeah, they really have. Like you said, they fumbled on their 3rd possession of the game and have great ball security ever since.
2nd and 5 for Kendrick from the 33-yard line of Dietrich, 4.5 to play. They will keep it again with Kep right up the middle across the 30. They'll mark him down right at the 30-yard line, so that's a gain of 3, makes it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, if you're Kendrick, this is exactly what you want. 3-4 yards a carry. You're obviously in 4-down territory, and right now with 3rd and 2, they're going to have 2 downs to get 2 yards and move the sticks. 4:10, clock continues to move. Dietrich does have 2 timeouts, but they've got to get the football. Somehow they have got to find a way to get that football from Kendrick.
And they're keeping it in the hands of their most trusted ball carrier, which is Kep. 3:55 to play. Kep again right up the middle, ran into his own lineman.
Oh.
Now trying to stretch out, won't get there. He got right back to the line of scrimmage and maybe even lost a yard. He ran right into his own guy, as I believe it was Pisano kind of blew up the lineman and shoved him right back into Kep.
Yeah, and then Power comes in from the secondary and finishes him off. But for Dietrich, that gives you a little bit of hope because Kendrick lost a yard on the play, and now it's 4th and 3.
Yeah, so they do say Kep actually lost a yard on that carry. 4th and 3 for Kendrick. 3:20 to play in the 1A D2 state championship game. Kendrick up 12, 34-22. 4th and 3 from the Dietrich 31. 2 receivers right. Hewitt in motion right to left. Play blown dead. Timeout called by Kendrick.
Okay.
Something with the defense they didn't like. Coach Hobart going to take the timeout, and let's send it down to the sidelines and Paul Kingsbury again. Paul, what do you got?
Hey guys, just a really quick fun fact for you. If you follow us on social media, which you should, at Idaho Sports, especially Instagram, we have Matt Kelly on the sidelines right now for this game, Logan Green on the sidelines for the 5A game, taking all sorts of highlight clips, sharing stuff. Well, we did a poll on Instagram about this game, said who's going to win. Now, this was interesting. Kendrick Tigers, 340 votes. Dietrich Blue Devils, 339 votes.
Whoa!
Whoa.
So
nice.
One vote separates the two, and that one vote seems to be the winner here.
Wow. Don't be that person that didn't vote on Election Day. And
No kidding. Don't say your vote doesn't count.
That's right. That's always the number one rule, right? If you didn't vote, you don't get to complain about.
We had 2 more people vote for Dietrich. This game might have a different ending. Who knows?
Wow. But again, we talked about how razor thin the margins were between these teams in every statistic.
Yeah.
Even amongst the fans, right?
Absolutely. Here we go. Big 4th down.
4th and 3 now for Kendrick. 2 receivers to the right side from the Dietrich 31. They pick up a first down. This game is pretty much over. Back to pass is Kep. Throwing to the right side. It's broken up. Big hit delivered by Sneddon. Forces the turnover on downs. They were trying to go to Jagger Hewitt. And Sneddon with a big hit, and Hewitt coming up slow. Really hurt his leg there, his hamstring, it looks like.
Yeah, the ball was a little bit low, below the waist, so Hewitt had to reach down for it, and that allowed Sneddon to hit him from behind, and all the weight came right down on top of Hewitt, and that's why he's limping off a little bit. But Dietrich's defense comes through when they need it. 3:07 to go. The Blue Devils have the football back.
And Jagger Hewitt says, I'm good. I'm going to stay out there. If I'm Dietrich, I'm targeting him right away.
Absolutely.
He's lined up across from Perkins. They'll throw a screen right side. Reception made. The 30.
Lots of room!
He's got it! The 40, the 30. 1 man to beat. The 20, the 10, the 5. All the way into the end zone for a Dietrich touchdown with 2:55 to play. It is a 69-yard touchdown on the screen.
We've got a ball game again. Dietrich strikes when they needed it the most. The big play. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, my goodness. That was Peyton Sneddon, the guy who just made the big 4th down hit to break up the pass, takes a screen, 69 yards for a touchdown.
Wow. Well, you couldn't have written that any better if you're Dietrich. And now the 2-point conversion to pull them within 4. Now this becomes a big 2-point conversion.
Down 34-28, 2:55 to play. Power will keep it. Left side juke.
Oh, what a play defensively.
Yeah, door was closed shut. Coming up to make the tackle was Hunter Taylor. And so Power denied on the 2-point run, but Dietrich back within 6.
Yeah,
34.
and that was a big defensive play on the 2-point conversion, because now Dietrich, in order to win, it's going to have to score and get the conversion instead of just scoring to win it. But nonetheless, 1 step at a time for the Blue Devils. That's to get within 1 score. And they did it without a long drive that took off time, because it was a 70-yard Power to Sneddon touchdown. And Dietrich does still have those 2 timeouts.
This game got really interesting all of a sudden here, Scott. We talked about in this game, all it takes is 1 play and a 69-yard touchdown pass from Power to Sneddon on a screen. Again, QB's best friend. That pass went about a yard, and then Sneddon took it the other 68, and he broke it open immediately. I mean, you called it after 5 yards. You said, uh-oh, and you could tell in a foot race, Sneddon's not going to be caught by too many guys.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden momentum has swung back a little bit to Dietrich. And with those 2 timeouts, they can afford to play straight up.
We will have another Squib kick here.
You know, fun fact, the 4A title game is supposed to start in 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's not happening. Starting to fill up here in Holt Arena, though, for that. We got Bishop Kelly fans in front of us, it looks like, Scott, for that 4A championship. So following the 69-yard touchdown pass to Sneddon, a squib kick corralled at the 40. That's Carpenter on the return.
That was a pretty nice grab by Carpenter. You know, those squib kicks are tougher than you think because, I mean, first of all, the football's an oblong shape, and it doesn't bounce truly anyway. Right. But that one right there hit right in front of Carpenter and rode up his shoulder pads before he was able to corral it. Otherwise, who knows what could have happened.
So 2:54 to play, 34-28. Kendrick lead is 6. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 41, working left to right. Each side has 2 timeouts remaining. Actually, Kendrick has 1 timeout remaining. And they're the team with the lead, trying to run the clock a little bit here, up 6. Man in motion left to right is Hewitt. Penalty flag comes out. Hewitt gets a yard, and then Cody Power smacks him. We'll see what the flag was. Thrown by the side judge on the near side here.
This generally is a motion or a legal procedure or an offsides call normally. And we still haven't gotten anything yet.
They threw it pretty early, like right as the ball was snapped, so they're talking to the Dietrich.
Yeah, this is going to go against Kendrick.
And they're talking to the Dietrich coaching staff. Rick Estelle, the head coach. Brody Estelle, his nephew, has been helping out a lot this year as well.
Right, and here's what's happening right now, because normally they would accept this penalty without question.
Right.
But because the clock is playing a part in this, you've got to ask, okay, do you want the time versus the yards?
And that's exactly what they did. It was a false start against Kendrick. Dietrich said, we'll decline the penalty to save a play.
Exactly.
To make it 2nd and 9. And now the Dietrich fans making a lot of noise. And, you know, when you come, the Skyline and BK fans, and they don't have a rooting interest, they're going to go for the underdog. And that is definitely Dietrich here with 2.5 to play. 2nd and 9. Clock will continue to run. Kendrick's going to take it all the way down. Ball's at their own 42-yard line.
Just waiting for the back judge to put the count on, and he hasn't. There it is.
Kemp out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right side, tight end to the right as well. Kemp will keep it right up the middle. Will take it across the 45 to the 46. Sneddon coming up to make the tackle, and now Dietrich will spend a timeout here on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, now you got to start worrying about timeouts because it's 3rd down here, and this is right where you wanted to be if you're Dietrich.
Yeah, let's go back to Paul Kingsbury down on the sideline. Paul, what do you got?
Guys, something really interesting is happening on the far sideline. Dietrich is on the opposite side. That's also where Skyline is going to be. Well, I can tell you right now, Dietrich's student section just grew tenfold because Skyline's student section is now sitting with Dietrich's student section, holding up Blue Devils signs, cheering for the team. So I think that's awesome. An intermingled 4A and 1A D2 student section, Skyline sitting with the Dietrich Blue Devil student sections. Awesome to see.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Paul. That's kind of a cool deal. And
that's very cool.
Kendrick, of course, had to make a long trip down here. Not a ton of students came to represent the student section. So
that's a long way to go. But back to the game really quick here. You're going to have 3rd down and 5 for Kendrick. Dietrich just just called one of their 2 timeouts. This is right where Dietrich wants to be. They hold him here. They call the other timeout, and then they get the ball back with about 2 minutes to go and no timeouts.
I think you could even keep that timeout in case you need it on offense. 3rd and 5. 2 receivers either side. It only works if you get the stop, though. It's a sweet play to Hewitt.
Oh, no.
He's got the 1st down, and he's got the touchdown. The 20, the 10, the 5, all the way for a 64-yard Kendrick touchdown. They put Sawyer Hewitt in motion left to right, and nobody followed him, and then he took it all the way to the end zone.
Wow. That could be the dagger right there. 2:04 to go, and all of a sudden, Dietrich finds themselves down 2 scores again. Kendrick with the answer, undaunted. Got the big play when they needed it, and you could have driven a Mack truck through that hole because there was nobody around. They were all shifting to the right, and back comes Hewitt to the left. Wow.
2:04 to play. Two receivers either side as Kendrick lines up for two. Kep will take it right up the middle and in for the two-point conversion. So just when Dietrich thought they were back in it, Sawyer Hewitt breaks their hearts again. What a night for Sawyer Hewitt, the sophomore.
No kidding.
25 seconds into the game, he had that 65-yard touchdown run on the play where Dietrich thought he was down, and he wasn't, and he sprinted to the end zone. He caught the 57-yard touchdown pass from Ty Kep earlier in this fourth quarter, and then what could be the backbreaker, a 64-yard touchdown run for Sawyer Hewitt as well. What a night for the sophomore.
Yeah, sophomore. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot more of this kid in the coming years, as well as a lot of these Kendrick players we alluded to earlier in the broadcast, that there are a lot of underclassmen on this Tiger team.
Simply incredible.
Well, and you look up and down the Dietrich roster, I mean, they have a bevy of underclassmen as well. I mean, yeah, they've got some senior leadership in there, and they're going to miss people like Power and Estelle and Snedden and Pisano, but they got enough underclassmen there to build from as well. Well, now it is desperation time for Dietrich. One timeout, down by 14. They're going to need another big play like they just got.
And they'll need it to happen quickly.
Yeah. And no matter what happens, they're going to have to do the onside kick instead of the squib kick.
Yeah, now only one timeout to work with as well. So 64-yard touchdown run by Sawyer Hewitt. Line drive kick off the fingers of Estelle. We'll track it down at the 20. Now we'll fake the toss and we'll take it to the 21 where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich.
Yeah, when that went right through his hands, they lost about 15 to 20 yards in field position on that, because maybe even more depending on how far Estelle could have run it back.
And they lost about 6 seconds off the clock because as soon as it touches his hands,
the clock starts.
So 1:58 to go, 42 to 28. Kendrick leads again by 12. Actually 14. Double checking my math there.
Good job.
You're the pencil pusher of the two of us, Scott.
I'm not the mathlete though. I can write it down and analyze it. How's that?
1st and 10 for Dietrich. Got to get to work. 2 minutes to go. Power, deep shot over the middle. Somehow it's held on to and caught across the 35 out to the 37. Snedden makes the grab.
And that's a big one. And the thing about that is Dietrich's going to have to chew up chunks now, because the clock will stop momentarily as they move the chains, and that's going to work as a mini timeout.
1st and 10. Power over the middle again. Slant route. Connor Perkins out to the 45-yard line of Kendrick. That is a gain of 14 and a 1st down.
And Clemenhagen made the tackle that saved the touchdown.
Because Perkins is a speedster for sure. We're down to 135 and counting. Dietrich down 14. Power back to pass. Slings an out route near side. Caught by Perkins.
Wow.
And then driven into the turf. That is Hunter Taylor with the big stop.
Boy, that was a textbook tackle. Face mask on the football, wrap up, throw him down. And that's a big one, because now the clock continues to run. Dietrich is hustling to the line.
1:15 and counting. 2nd and 6 for Dietrich from the 41 of Kendrick. Power all day and half the night. Taking a shot to the end zone.
Oh, my goodness!
Receiver fell down. Defensive back fell down, but Perkins was still in the neighborhood and makes the grab for the 41-yard touchdown. The intended receiver fell down. The defensive back fell down. Perkins, right place, right time, 41-yard score.
Unbelievable. Don't go anywhere. This thing is probably 6 scores away from being over with 1:04 to go.
Dietrich refuses to go quietly into the night. Brings it to within 42 to 34 with 1:04 to play.
Now they're going to have to onside kick after this 2-point conversion, but the 2-point conversion here is important just in case they get the ball back and score, because they're going to need a 2-point conversion at some point.
So 41 yards to Perkins. They'll line up and go for 2. Stretch play left side. Won't get there.
Not even close.
Snedden couldn't get there, so 1:04 to play. And now 42 to 34. That is an 8-point differential. So you need the onside kick, the touchdown, and the 2-point conversion with 1:04 and 1 timeout.
Yeah, what Kendrick did on that stop on that 2-point conversion is guarantee themselves, hey, we're not going to lose this in regulation.
Right.
You know, if Dietrich does get the onside kick and somehow scores, the worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to go to overtime. But if Dietrich would have gotten that 2-point conversion and then got the ball back, then Kendrick has a chance to lose the ball game.
And the big difference on that last drive is Dietrich was able to get the ball down the field pretty quickly was Kendrick really only rushed 2 guys. And that gave Power the time he needed to find the open receivers. That a couple of amazing catches by his wide receivers. There was the one by Perkins coming over the middle. It was behind him and between 2 defenders, and he held on. And then that touchdown where the intended receiver, I believe it was Robertson, fell down. The Kendrick DB fell down, and Perkins was right there with a lot of bodies on the ground around him, concentrated to haul it in. So there's been some incredible plays on both sides tonight. And now everybody gears up for this, the onside kick. This is, if Dietrich recovers, they still got a chance. If Kendrick recovers, can pretty much turn out the light, tuck the kids into bed.
Yep, and get ready for a 4A game.
Onside kick attempt coming from Dietrich with 1:04 to play, down 8, only 1 timeout remaining. To the right side, it's bobbled and recovered by Dietrich.
Unbelievable.
The Blue Devils recover. Brody Torgerson recovers the onside kick. It went right off the chest of Twite, the freshman.
Wow.
And it's recovered by Torgerson, and Dietrich's got a chance. It's 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Ball at the Kendrick 45.
Holy cow. Dietrich trying to pull victory out of the jaws of defeat. Got just a little bit closer. They're giving themselves a chance, and they've got 1 timeout to play with here with 1:04 to go. They're 45 yards away from pay dirt and a 2-point conversion to tie it. Here we go.
1st and 10 for the Devils. 1:04 to play. Ball at the Kendrick 45. 4 wide. Power back to pass. Again, Kendrick only rushes 2. Power's got plenty of time, taking a deep shot. It is caught at the 30, broken tackle, the 20, and cut down at the 21-yard line. Robertson with the reception to the 21. That is a gain of 24 and a first down.
Yeah, dangerous pass by Power into traffic, but Robertson made the catch and got all the way down to the 21.
50 seconds and counting. Dietrich to the line quickly. First down from the 21. Out route is caught in stride by Robertson. Spinning inside the 10, brought down there. 1st and goal for Dietrich at the 9.
And the clock stops momentarily as they move the chains. 42 seconds. And with 42 seconds in a timeout, Dietrich, they have some time now. Time is not a huge issue for the Blue Devils right this second.
Back-to-back grabs by Robertson. 1st and goal from the 9. And now I believe Kendrick is going to spend a timeout because they are rattled with 35 seconds to play.
Wow. They just lost their last time out, which is fine because what you need right now if you're Kendrick is you just need to stop. You need to gather the troops because, like you said, everybody for Kendrick right now is rattled. They had this thing won until a big play, onside kick, and now you're going, what in the world is happening if you're Kendrick right now? We had this thing won. We were hoisting a trophy. We were just waiting for the clock to run out. And now Dietrich might have something to say about it.
How did we get to this point? Well, a 64-yard touchdown run by Sawyer Hewitt gave Kendrick a 42-28 lead with 2:04 to play. Dietrich in short order, only a minute off the clock, marches down the field, 41-yard touchdown pass from Cody Power to Connor Perkins. Then they get the onside kick. It went off Twite, recovered by Torgerson, a 24-yard pass to Robertson, a 12-yard pass to Robertson, and now it's 1st and goal from the 9. And Dietrich still has 1 timeout to play with here with 35 seconds to play in regulation. Dietrich down 8 in the 1A D2 state championship game. 4 wide. Kendrick shows blitz here.
Oh, it's going to go against Dietrich.
False start. So Kendrick has been playing with 2 down linemen. That time they walked 2 linebackers up to the line, and that caused one of the Dietrich offensive linemen to flinch. So now it's 1st and goal from the 14.
Not a huge penalty. Gives you a little bit more room. You're going to have to get to the end zone anyway, whether it's from the 9 or the 14. You got 1 timeout.
And Kendrick has basically been rushing 2 guys with a spy on Power because they're not going to let Power beat them on the ground. But Power, with his arm, has been pretty efficient here. 4 wide again, 2 to either side. 1st and goal from the 14. 35 seconds to play in the championship game. Slant route caught. Robertson to the 10. Big hit delivered to the 9.
Yeah, Clemenhagen came up with a big hit. Clock continues to run under 30 seconds now. Dietrich to the line, holding on to that 1 timeout.
2nd and goal from the 9. Power hit as he throws to the end zone. Picked, intercepted by Kendrick right at the goal line. And that will do it for the Tigers. Power was hit as he threw it, and it's intercepted by Twite. the freshman at the goal line.
And how about that sweet justice? Because Twite is the one that the onside kick went off of, and he's the one that picks it off at the goal line to save it for Kendrick.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. Shades of that Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl from about 9 years ago. Oh, Cody Power was hit as he threw it, and I didn't see who brought the pressure, but that caused the throw to be a little bit behind the receiver on the slant, and Twite, the freshman, comes away with the interception. As you said, Scott, he goes from GOAT to hero in a matter of moments.
Wow, what a finish to this one. 19 seconds, one timeout for Dietrich. It's not going to matter. It's victory formation for Kendrick, and all they've got to do is not pull a Josh Allen and fumble it into the end zone, right?
Final timeout taken here by Dietrich with 16 seconds to play. A 42-34 lead for Kendrick. And so Dietrich will spend their final timeout here.
Sign off. Do you want?
So 16 seconds to play here. And again, Scott, barring a really wild play, Kendrick is going to kneel it down and get out of here with their second consecutive 1A D2 state championship game. Dietrich made it interesting at the end, down 12, got a touchdown, an onside kick recovery, and drove it all the way to the 9. But an interception at the goal line by Twite has almost sealed it up for Kendrick. They'll kneel down. The ball's at the 3, so Kep doesn't have a ton of room to breathe here. 16 seconds to go. The kneel down is done, and that's it. For the second year in a row, the Kendrick Tigers climb to the top of the 1A D2 mountain, and there's the Gatorade bucket for head coach Zane Hobart. He is drenched down there on the Kendrick sideline as the Tigers defeat the Blue Devils 42-34, the final. What an absolutely thrilling game, Scott.
Oh, great effort by Kendrick. They never gave up. You know, they saw something tonight that they never saw before, and that was somebody challenging them. Other than that Oakley game, they just hadn't been challenged. So you never know how teams are going to react when they just blow everybody out of the water. But Kendrick reacted like a champion does. They were unfazed. They answered every punch that Dietrich threw at them, and as a result, they're going to hoist a trophy in just a matter of minutes.
They'll present the trophies while we take a break. We'll come back with the IdahoSports.com postgame show right after this. Final score, Kendrick 42, Dietrich 34. You're listening to the 1A D2 state championship game on IdahoSports.com.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
We're Valley-wide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Look at that. The unmistakable swagger of someone fully covered with health insurance through Your Health Idaho for as low as $0 a month. If you're as speechless as I am right now, say nothing. Health yeah! Enroll by December 15th and you could qualify for quality health insurance starting at $0 a month.
Hello?
I was in an accident.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I have my seatbelt on.
I'm Jen Migalki-Seiler, and I'm from Moscow. I think it's really important to get vaccinated because it's not just about me and my health, it's about the people around me. We have a lot of friends who have disabilities or have different health conditions. I want to make sure I don't make anyone sick. So we chose to get vaccinated to keep each other healthy.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Welcome back to Holt Arena, where the Kendrick Tigers just got done hoisting the trophy for the 1A D2 state title in a thrilling game as they hold off the Dietrich Blue Devils in a wild finish in a game that just had big play after big play from both teams, and the outcome was in doubt until the final seconds of the game. You couldn't ask for anything more in a state championship football game. Glad to have you with us for the post-game show. My name is Scott Burton, alongside our sideline reporter, Paul Kingsbury, who's now joined me in the booth. And we have sent Brandon Baney down on the field to interview our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And as he tracks him down, we're watching Skyline and Bishop Kelly now take the field. That game was supposed to start at 8:30.
Yeah.
And we knew right away that that was not going to happen. We're looking at a kickoff of the 4A title game somewhere after 9 o'clock. But in the meantime, we still have some business here in the 1A D2 championship game. And that is with Brandon Baney, who's on the field right now with our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Brandon, it's on you.
All right, down here on the field with our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Sawyer Hewitt. Congratulations, back-to-back champs. How does it feel?
Oh, this is everything I've ever dreamed of, you know. The boys came out here and they bawled their hearts out. You know, this is one of the best moments of my entire life. It's great.
All right, you had several big plays. Let's go with the first one, the 65-yard touchdown run. Everybody thought you were down, and all of a sudden you weren't. Take us through the play.
So, you know, I was getting wrapped up, and I just realized that my knee didn't hit the ground yet, so I said, I'm not going to give up. So I kept running, I found a lane, and I just went to the house.
All right, and then in the second half, you catch a little middle screen, and you take it 57 yards for another touchdown. Take us through that play.
Oh, the boys definitely blocked. That was like some of the best blocking I've ever seen. You know, I give all props to the O-lineman there. The blocks were great.
And then the backbreaker at the very end, the score that turned out to be the winning score to give you guys a little breathing room, 64-yard touchdown run. What happened there?
Yet again, the blocks were just amazing. We talked about it in the timeout before. Coach thought it was going to be a good play to run, and it was a good play.
All right, and now you bring back almost everybody again next year. How excited are you to defend the title for the third year?
You know, we gotta keep our heads up and maintain focus, and you know, go for the title next year too.
All right, Sawyer Hewitt, our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you guys.
All right, that is Sawyer Hewitt, and his stat line for the player of the game presented by the Idaho Transportation Department is as follows: 136 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And then through the air, he was 78 receiving yards and another touchdown. One big play after another, and just when Dietrich thought they were going to close in and get a little bit closer, it was Hewitt who stepped up and made the play. But it's Kendrick hoisting the trophy at the end. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the 1A D2 state title game as we get set for the 4A game coming up next. So football not done, even though we go a little bit later into the night here at Holt Arena. And if you like football, make sure you check in about 25 minutes for Skyline and Bishop Kelly. But for now, the 1A D2 is done. Kendrick, your state champions. Well, this has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of the 2022 Idaho High School Football Playoffs. Tournament coverage on IdahoSports.com is presented by Project Filter, Your Health Idaho, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and the Idaho Transportation Department. Also brought to you in part by Wide Cooperative and your local Toyota dealers. And this broadcast was also made possible by the support from these local businesses out of Dietrich, Shaw Land and Livestock, Donnelly Farms, Extreme Excavation, Bazzuto's Furniture, Heartland Ag, Idaho Housing, and then from Kendrick, Strom Electric, George F. Brocky & Sons, Furrytail Mercantile, Ken and Val Windermer Real Estate, Phil's Family Foods, Nathan's Cafe and Spirits, and Kendrick Dental. Many, many thanks to our local business partners for helping bring this broadcast to you. Well, congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com player of the game presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. That is Sawyer Hewitt. And I tell you what a game he had to help his Kendrick Tigers win the state title. Well, thanks again for joining us as Kendrick defeats Dietrich by a final score of 42-34. For my broadcast partner in the booth, Brandon Bainey, and down on the field, Paul Kingsbury, and everyone else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, my name is Scott Burton. Thanks for joining us, and so long, everybody.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com